We're both recording. So, I guess until Junior gets here, so I'm just gonna go with the Mike's hard pineapple strawberry. It's really good.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, Al said that. Like, of all the Mike's, this might be the best one. Like,
I do like the Mike's blood orange, but we had that new case recently, and the pineapple strawberry is good. And I also like the strawberry lemonade.
yeah, this is good.
I think they have a black,
especially when it's cold.
Yeah,
A Mike's when it's cold is so good compared to just warm out
that's
of the
why I just
bottle.
poured some ice for and shit. So
Yeah. It's like if I put it into a cup with ice and get a straw,
yeah,
I'd actually know I empty that cup in like a couple of seconds because it's just so cool and refreshing.
the straw.
so
Oh, well, I can't really guzzle it in a cup because the ice cubes are so big that, it's banging against my teeth.
Yeah.
Police coming at your house. Get that out the fucking glass.
well, it's funny, Carlton. I was telling Junior when we get to our Xbox about like I got a weird kind of a day from like fan feedback and shit, which is the first time because like this one group I joined on Facebook and I invited Elliot to it and of course Junior, something like we post raunchy memes until Zuckerberg bans us or some shit, and it's the most horrible, awful, funniest shit you've ever seen. And I noticed the past couple of days like I wasn't seeing nothing posted, so I'm thinking maybe I wasn't checking my phone and stuff. So let me hop on at work. So I hop on at work and I'm like, wow, where's the group at? So I look in, join groups, can't find it. Okay, hit the search option, can't find it. So I'm like, yeah, I wonder if like they were posting some shit that just got them banned. So I'll go to my activity log and I'm looking through like, stuff I liked. And I was showing Junior, we were talking a couple weeks back, like the different girls in this group would post some fucking raunchy shit. Like you wouldn't think girls were posting this kind of stuff. It was just really like Sarah Silverman type like guy humor. And this one girl, Becca, she got banned a couple times. And so on my activity log, it says like, you liked Becca's post from like a week ago and stuff. It would say you liked her post. It wouldn't show the actual posting group because the group is gone now. So out of the blue, I just said, hey, I just wrote her a message like, hey, Becca, we've only talked a couple times inside the group and shit. And I'm like, dude, did you happen to notice that like the group is gone? And did you notice maybe why or something? Or I was like, I'm sorry if it may sound kind of weird coming from a complete stranger, but like, you post some pretty raunchy, hilarious stuff. And it just sucks that the group is like disappeared. And she actually wrote me back, which I wasn't expecting. She goes, yeah, I just checked it myself and the whole group is gone. It's like, oh shit. So
Zuckerberg.
we got basically talking, and eventually she's like, I said to her, I like about this group is it's pretty funny and stuff. And I mentioned this group on my podcast a couple of times. And, the kind of humor you have, it's like, well, I'm hoping that my sister would have, or my cousin and stuff. And I'm like, and she eventually says, hey, like, what's your podcast? I'm like, do you really want to listen to it? Because I'm like, it's just a random person. She goes, yeah, I'll give it a try. And I'm like, okay. I told her, I'm going to apologize for episode 1 because it's pretty awful. So, as I said, asking my friends, I did a re-record with the introduction about how many times I said fucking it given like 5 minutes. And she writes back like an hour later. She goes, hey, listen to episode 1. It's really funny, Chris. And she goes, you guys should make a drinking game. And how many times you say fuck, take a shot? She goes, you'll be dead within.
You wouldn't make it through the
exactly.
episode.
So, but I got talking to her and it was just like, and Junior's like, being a smart ass. I said, no, she's very cute, but and she asked about time zones and stuff. Apparently she's actually from England because she used, and Ellie knows this, we knew Carlton too. She kept using terms like me and my mum. When someone types MUM, that's not American. For a fact when you say mum.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was telling her, I know it sounds kind of Facebook stalkery, but I'm like a month ago, she was posting just like just most funny, sexual, just raunchy, over the top shit, most stuff that we would post. And I'm thinking, let me click on this profile because this is probably a fucking dude, or a drag queen or something. I'm like, this ain't a girl. Click on her picture and she's a legit woman. So I texted her that. I'm like, I first.
Are you sure? Does she identify?
No,
as a woman?
she's a woman. She even said she's like Chris. She's like Chris. If I had surgery, she goes, I want my fucking money back. I said, I'm gonna.
Cold blood.
Yeah. And she's like, no. She's like, she goes, my family can't handle my raunchy sense of humor, and it's very fucked up. And I'm like, I said, well, you're like my sisters, but even like more hardcore. I'm like, some of the shit she would post, and she's like, I don't post on my personal page because my family gets offended by everything I post. She's like, so I did it on that group, and I'm like, I said, hey, listen, her name is Becca. I'm like, if you listen to this podcast, I'm like, I'll give you a shout or something. You can join our group, and I'm like, and send me some really funny shit, but just raunchy fucking stuff, just like something like they showed like I think it was SpongeBob or something, like Squidward there, and showed a stomach. It's like when a guy comes in at me or something, basically, but both holes had like fucking white jizz coming out of both of them, and like it was just like the shit she would post. I'm like, this girl is fucking insane.
I like the meme it shows a chick on her like knees looking up, but you don't see her mouth, and it says what she sees. And when she's looking up, and she's SpongeBob and Squidward standing over her smiling.
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta send that. You know, I got Pinterest. I gotta send something.
Yeah.
post it on the
I thought one
Facebook
live.
group. Oh, you don't use Facebook. I forgot.
Well,
I don't
we
use
kind of have to.
Facebook.
Well, you have
I
to know
don't-
because of Oculus, right?
Oh, I'm using Karen's account. She
Well-
has a Facebook account, so that's why we kind of
Yeah.
went with Oculus because using
Well,
her
I'll tell
account.
Beck if she still wants to keep like talking and stuff and being friendly, send me some fucked up pictures. But I'll just show you some of the shit she sends. It's hilarious. But I just like I'm reading through her text right now on Facebook. And she's like, like she said, Big Al. So I have a friend named Big Al. Like Big Al is such a great name. And she's like, I think you've got a really nice voice. And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh,
It's like, yeah, right.
Yep, you already lost her.
Exactly.
You already
Well,
lost her.
It was funny, like telling Junior because did you listen to last week's yet?
Me, I don't even know where you post these
it's on
stuff anymore.
Spotify.
Spotify, iTunes.
Oh,
But
no.
so
I haven't listened to anything since probably episode 15 or 16. So.
well, you gotta listen to it. The short version was so Junior brought his friend Selena down, and I even put down the thing. The first 3 hours is hilarious, and so eventually Elliot gets up and walks out of the house.
Yeah, I got pissed off
But, like,
real bad.
So when Junior and listens back to this, and he's just like, "Damn," he goes, "I feel kind of bad because Elliot got kind of angry." I said, "Dude, listen. After hour 3, we're all except for because Al had to drive home. All of us were also fucking loaded. I'm like, I'm surprised we weren't throwing grenades at each other and shit. So it got really fucking funny. And but Junior's like, I wonder if we should maybe edit some stuff out. So I was texting Al. Al was like, don't edit a goddamn thing out, man. He goes, we've all bombed every one of us.
shit.
But listening back to it, no, because like I said, it was her. Elliot had everyone was just having a great time. Susan eventually, got tired, went to bed, and then she had. And I haven't seen her Facebook post. She goes, "Hey guys, first time tonight, I'm trying out this thing called the crack." And we're like, "That's your biggest mistake." And this girl, it weighs like 105 pounds. First off, she comes here with Junior. She had a couple drinks. I gave her my fucking vape pen. She says, "You want to smoke?" I said, I not right now because I work and stuff." I said, "But you and Junior can." And she had a couple fucking drinks. During the course of the night, she's basically matching me and Elliot with drinks. The thing is, she weighs a third of what me and Elliot fucking weigh. So, and then she's like, "I'm gonna try this Kraken out." Don't do that. She kept guzzling the crack, and we're like, "Oh boy, it's gonna get bad." But no, I said she went account like. What's funny is like looking at the fucking garage band there, and like we had all 6 mics going. You see like the different level effects and stuff. So I'm looking at Elliot's mic, my mic, Al's mic, Junior's mic. Everyone is like flatline. Hers is like a mountain. For like 15 minutes straight, all you see is just one fucking voice going on and on to the point where like we're all drunk laughing our ass off. And of course, eventually when Elliot left, she left a half hour later. Junior called her an Uber. She texted me the next day. She goes, "Will, what happened like the last hour and a half? I completely fucking blacked out." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you weren't that bad." Like, "Oh, you were." It's like, if you come here again, we're gonna slay you. So no, but she started going to the whole like the white privilege and stuff and fucking systemic
Male
racism,
privilege.
black stuff, white stuff, and just and every time Elliot would talk, she was the only person talking. Elliot couldn't get a syllable in, but then once Elliot left, Al tried to talk. She kept interrupting Junior, and I'm just sitting in here drinking like I'm watching it happen. I'm watching the Hindenburg fall from heavens.
What happened to that Molly chick that he was talking to?
He
Or
may or may
Megan?
not be real.
He said she's working 2 jobs, so. What?
Oh, so he's bringing another chick
Listen, but
along.
his friend Selena said she's like, I want to come here again. I had fun. I'm like, oh, come here again. But if you come here again, you're on a 2-drink minimum, okay? Or actually maximum, because you're not drinking half that Kraken again. Like, shit. But she was very fun, very cute and shit. And just like anything, she's, very,
So that's all Junior's friend. Fun and cute, but that's all they
I
are.
looked at, like, I'm like,
Junior's always in the friend
Pretty much.
zone.
well, unlike, Jen and Susan, she actually turns down meals. So, I'll look at the more she gets drunk, the more insane she gets. I'm like, you are fucked up and pretty, so you're gonna fit with us pretty well because she's insane. So I'm like, it makes sense. But like when I first met her, because we want to start recording about 6:30, Junior brings down at 5:00. So I told her, hey, he's down early, come up, whatever. And of course, the girl weighs like a $105. She goes, yeah, Chris, I used to be really ugly and stuff. I used to weigh over 200 pounds and stuff. And she goes, we would do F, Marry, Kill, and I always be the one that the guys would kill. And me and I were looking at her like, in what alternate reality would any, like, she said, very, very fucking pretty. But
No, there's Becca.
Of course, after 100 pounds.
yeah.
Anything looks perfect.
We're laughing. I said, listen, sweetheart, if you gain 200 pounds, everyone in his room still wants to fuck you. He's just like one of the girls.
She wouldn't have that problem.
we made a joke, Carlton, and I've said it a million fucking times that, like, I still say very good looking women are two categories. Either they have no self esteem or they have too much self esteem. And, you know, typical thing where it's like my boyfriend for 8 years and he cheated on me, he left me, he was controlling and stuff, and he was just, yeah, like this. And you know, fucking this dude is like, she's way out of this fucking guy's league. And that's just like, I was telling Junior that shit on Xbox, like, man, it fucking irks you. You see all these dudes, like, you're a troll looking son of a bitch and you're dating basically a model, man. And then you cheat on her, like, fuck.
Still funny.
Well, I told Susan afterwards, after Elliot left, and then Susan left. You can tell she was really fuck high and stoned because I was like, you know, we're gonna say our goodbyes and stuff, and I'm like, I'm looking like trash. And, oh, Chris, like, you have a very pretty boy looking face, and how drunk are you? Okay, no sober woman's ever told me I got a pretty boy young looking face. Jesus Christ. You have this light about you, Chris. There's like this deep soul.
You have the kind of face where I want to put on a strap on and
Well, don't ever invite Becca to the Facebook group where we're probably all going to be making fun of her.
Oh, this chick, if I invite her to Facebook group, you're going to fucking love her because I'm like, you are fucking warped girl. I'm like, I like that about you.
Trust me, I know females from other parts of this world.
Yeah.
Only here are they really kind of...
It makes you wonder, man. Like, I mean, well, like when Jen's friend was just like kind of being somewhat flirty with me. I'm like, yeah, she's had like 9 drinks. And Jen's like, oh, she's high. Don't worry about it. I'm like, that figures. I'm only attractive when they're high and drunk. Like,
she's high. That's why she was messing with her belt buckle in front of you.
all that alcohol lowers inhibition. So, like, hey. I mean, also, like 7 weeks in boot camp, you know, some of them ugly chicks be looking good.
So.
You know, like, oh, wow, she's looking quite attractive.
When did you
of course,
get
after 7
that
weeks.
curve? I didn't remember that 7 weeks ago.
But it's
Yeah, I didn't imagine that at all. I mean, but I guess after 7 weeks of seeing dudes and cocks in showers, you kind of any female looks
well,
good.
if you go to it's on Buzzsprout, it's also on Spotify, but you listen to it, like the first couple hours we had a shitload of fun. It was a good time. So and just like I put down like once Susan leaves, and then Elliot, because like even mom's like, so what happened downstairs with me? And she's like, it got loud for a while, then it went dead silence. I'm like, that's when Junior's friend Selena like said it's just like
Yeah.
it's just, boy, she crashed and burned, and I'm like, I saved
She
all of
brought
it.
down the whole podcast with her at that
Like
point.
I told Ellie, remember like in Family Guy, you got Buzz Killington. I'm gonna call Selena that. Like, what's up, Selena Buzzkill? He's dragged out the entire room. Well, no, we all laughed because last time Jen was here, I wanted to fuck. I was half of like hair from just knocking Jen the fuck out, and I'm like, that's family. So
When was the last time she there? Episode 7?
It was the night of your birthday.
My birthday, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. So I told her, I was like, Jen, I understand you're busy. Listen, if you don't get drunk every single night of the week for the past 6 months, who is going to? All the alcohol won't drink itself. Come on now. It's like I'm back to working full time.
Exactly.
I know.
You got a lazy slob of a boyfriend that you stick with. Why you cheat on him?
Yeah. I just texted Willie finally. I was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? What's up with you?" I was like,
oh shit, he's still
he's
what's
still
going
alive.
on,
So I'm like, yeah, Willie is. I texted him twice. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. So I was like,
So Jill still got
I said
his
to him,
phone?
you know, me and Carlton and your nephew and Carlton's brother were all down here waiting for you, asshole. Like,
I bet you he looks like Dee Dee now.
well, that's my saw him anyway. Willie's got that curse where it's like, and I got pissed at him because we all decided, you know, let's go to Sonic and stuff. And I was hitting the gym more, a little treat day. And of course, I'm hitting the fucking gym, jogging, watch my fucking weight. Willie's like, yeah, I haven't hit the weights in like a year. He doesn't look any different. I'm like, you're an asshole. Like, if I took a year off the gym, I'd gain 50 fucking pounds. He looks thinner now than he did last time I saw him. Like, Jill's starving you. Like, dude, he's just always in fucking shape. And of course, like, even I'm starting to get some more gray in my stubble, like a little gray in my temple. Willie's just, yeah, it's just fucking black people. Like, fucker do not age. Like, Willie's like, yeah, pushing 40, looks like he's 15. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like,
I can't remember the last time I talked to him, like 10 years ago.
it was a few months back, so I brought Christian over there. He looks, everything's just the same. Jill just seems like, Willie just has like that look in his eyes of like a caged lion, where the lion's just like, it's just defeated.
He's just been defeated.
He's like, yeah, Chris, I miss the good old days. I'm like, you do realize I haven't moved, right? I'm living in the exact same place. I was like, and Carlton's only a couple hours
I know you've been there for like
I was like,
20
Carlton's
years.
only an hour and a half away. I'm like, so I texted him now. I was like, we do a podcast, asshole. You can come down. You're only 10 minutes away. Like,
She'll be behind him.
If he does, then his phone will be going off constantly during the podcast. Joe's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
so,
Man,
yeah, with that chick, no, definitely after that podcast, say, hey Becca, so join our Facebook group and just post some raunchy shit. We won't ban you, trust me, because which is like I never really listened to a podcast before. If you mention my name, it's gonna like wow, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, but
we'll find you, Becca. We will find you.
She hasn't heard Carlton and Elliot's voice yet, so I'm like, I have a shitty voice in.
well, she only seen episode 1,
She
so
hasn't heard the baritone.
if she keeps listening and remains interested, she'll get a feel of everyone and everything.
Yeah. So, yeah, stuff. So you me and Cameron talking about. I just wanted to repeat because on here. I love my phone every time I pop. Hey, look, it's literally twice a day. Twitch bans another streamer, of course. First thing pops up. I love the fact that this every day they keep getting fucking banned. It's like you think you morons would learn by now. Jesus Christ, but they won't because
I totally forgot about Twitch.
What
is Twitch? Twitch is for the gaming, right?
And
it's for a lot more than gaming. You have chicks. So.
Well, I know that. That's the only thing I remember it by. It's just that's not forgettable. I mean, I'm sure it's huge in various circles, but to me, it's just forgettable.
It's kind of dying.
I just like it's just fact that like these, like I said, I mentioned this podcast plenty of times. The shit that all of us do. If Carlton went to work, Elliot did. If me and Al on camera did any of this shit, you'd be going within the fucking hour of the company you're going. It's like and then Twitch lets they ban him once, then they ban him again, then they ban him again. It's like then after the 5th ban, like you're gone, you can't come back. And this is so fucking unfair. What did I do? And like they banned you multiple times, give you multiple warnings. If you did this shit at an actual job, you wouldn't come back. Period. Most companies don't give you 3 or 4 fucking last chances, asshole. Like so. Oh well.
Saw the little kids stealing their parents' credit cards.
So, yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about he posted pictures today, Chris Hemsworth, because Chris Hemsworth, Netflix had some kind of deal. They wanted to make a Hulk Hogan biography and stuff, and they wanted him to get into pretty good shape. And like, I was kind of like, mimicking Hogan in the 80s. Chris Hemsworth is actually the same height as Hogan, but people tend to forget Hogan was on a shit ton of steroids. That's the biggest thing why Hogan was that fucking big. But Chris Hemsworth said this is the biggest he's ever been in his life. He's put on like a lot of muscle, and he's fucking huge. But like,
back in the day they had steroids. Nowadays they know all about proteins and amino acids and proper workouts, where they can make a dude pretty darn huge. He shows a picture on Instagram.
He's lifting a tire. He even said this is it in all the fucking Thor movies. He's never been this fucking big, so he's gonna be huge. But like I just said, I don't think he won't be Hulk Hogan huge because. The biggest thing, is Hogan besides being size. Hulk Hogan weighed over, he said 330 to 335.
I didn't know Chris Hemsworth was 6'6", because I thought Hogan was pretty big.
They said he's 6'6", 6'7", yeah. So Hemsworth is like 6'4", so they're very close. That's why I said, in terms of height and weight.
Yeah, but when you got that movie with that television edit, you can make him
I said he'll never beat Hogan's size, though, because even with nutrition and stuff, the biggest thing is Hogan was taking a lot of shit. And they said back in the 80s, Hogan said in 1,000 interviews, he goes, guys, steroids was like you and me going to buy aspirin at the corner store. Everybody was doing it. It's like back then they didn't know the long-term side effects. So it's like Hogan didn't get to that size by himself. I doubt they're going to fucking, as an actor, pump Hemsworth for fucking a shit ton of steroids, not for a movie role. I mean, he's definitely, I've seen pictures. He's bigger than when he's Thor, but he'll never be, it's just like physically speaking, he can't, it's like me being fucking, me hitting weights trying to be Carlton size. It just wouldn't happen. It's just fucking, so I mean, he's definitely,
yeah, for the I mean, it's interesting. I'll see it when it's like out free on Netflix or something, but I'm kind of done with all of Hollywood and their whining. Pretty much I'm not, besides watching Netflix or Amazon, I'm not supporting any Hollywood movie. Pretty much no matter who it is. I'm just like, I'm done with Hollywood. I mean, I'm not done watching movies. I was like, I'll still watch them, but when it comes to a streaming services. And, and I probably wouldn't even pay like the $20 rental unless for some reason the movies are something. I mean, honestly, I can't think of a movie that would make me want to pay $20. Even the upcoming Phase 4 of Marvel, I'm like, I'm done with it again.
Well, yeah, this past week, like, I wish Al was here for that. Al sent me a few TikToks, and like, I'm not sure how much you've been checking with the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, but man, they've been like, it's been fucking nonstop with these guys. And like, the short version, because I don't want to drag it on too long, was that, said Johnny Depp lost his suit. And with Fantastic Beasts 3, a lot of people didn't like the second Fantastic Beast, but it wasn't his fault. He got paid $10 million for one day of work. That's it. Now, some people consider that being a win, and it is. $10 million to show up for one day, awesome. But the biggest thing has been that going forward with Disney, they still want to reboot Pirates of the Caribbean without him. And everyone's like, go do Pirates of the Caribbean without Johnny Depp. Good luck with that. I'm not fucking seeing that shit.
Did you see the thing? Apparently, I don't know if it's true or not, they put up a picture of Margot Robbie, I think her name is, and people were literally going after her.
They want to have the people that wrote the Harley Quinn movie to have Margot Robbie star in New Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone's like, you do see how much of a bomb that the Harley Quinn film was, right?
I saw Suicide Squad. I think that's the only movie
and
I saw with her in, and I
did with Susan. I went to go see Harley Quinn, and I give him credit. The choreography was excellent. The movie was shit. I'm not going to lie. But the fight scenes, I'm not going to lie. Fight scenes were fucking good. But like, the point was, like, you don't take people like the Pirates of the Caribbean. I watched that guy Andy on YouTube. He said, love him or hate him. He goes, yeah, some people can debate about the fourth and fifth Pirates movie, but collectively, all five of those fucking films, and once Orlando Bloom and Keira Knight left the franchise, he stayed for 4 and 5. Johnny Depp was the core of Pirates of the Caribbean. They did $4.5 billion.
Yeah, I think I can see they're probably why, with him there is what kept the fans coming back. I mean, even though if they didn't do as much as the first three or something, the fans wanted to see Johnny Depp as
and that's
Captain
it's like
Jack
diminishing
Sparrow.
returns. Yes, the fourth and fifth ones didn't do as much, but that wasn't on him though. They also went through different directors, different scripts, different writers and shit.
And it's another thing with Hollywood. They're out of ideas now. They're just remaking stuff and changing it up. Disney's making their anime live movies and changing it up. They've tapped the well of creativity. It's like. Now it's like, the revisions of whatever. It could be, now we're going to bring back Tango and Cash. Or, I'm like, why? But Tango and Cash is going to be 2 women now with, one black, one Asian. Like, why?
No.
So,
like, I mean, going forward, because.
Why don't you just make a new movie about a black woman and an Asian woman? Similar, but don't call it Tango and Cash remake.
So the whole thing with Depp and stuff, and people are pissed off with Amber Heard. So, they've already had a petition within like 3 days. Now, again, this is WB and Disney. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They will do whatever they want. But it's showing the fan feedback. Within like 3 days, they had like 500,000 signatures saying, hey guys, you better keep Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean. Then with Amber Heard, because Amber Heard was in the first Aquaman, everyone said that there's a fan petition now for Aquaman 2, because they're going to start filming it within the next few months and shit. The first Aquaman did $1 billion. I had fun with it. That was a great movie. No one saw it. No one saw it for her because she was Mira. He's the fucking Man of Appeal. You can recast her in a heartbeat. They have like $1.5 million signatures within like months to get her removed. He said flat out, fans are saying that if you don't recast her, we're not going to see it. Now, I said, say what you want.
That's a lot of income.
I mean, it's like one guy was saying, he goes, you know what? He's like, the market's like the Chinese market. The Chinese market doesn't really care about too much about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and she's not the main appeal. And yeah, it may lose some money. We'll see how it does box office wise. But it still is the fucking point that, it's between WB and Aquaman, Johnny Depp, and Fantastic Beasts, whatever. It's like, I told people, you can sign all those signatures you want, petitions you want. The only thing these guys understand is money, and just vote with your dollars. So it's for me. I won't go see Aquaman 2 just because I like Johnny Depp, because like before this whole Amber Heard thing, the guy was one of the most fucking popular actors of all time. And this is why I said, even on this fucking podcast, I've been following shit for the past 6 months. And people on TikTok have said that, like, this is bigger than just Johnny Depp, because the fact is, like, Johnny Depp essentially, yes, he's fine. He has enough money to last fucking 4 or 5 lifetimes. But because of just accusations, and just because a fucking newspaper called him a wife beater, just calling them that, he lost Fantastic Beasts. He lost Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, it just trickles down to, like, how many guys out there aren't Johnny Depp? How many guys are working companies right now? What if it was to be like, my kid, my ex-girlfriend, my son's mother, just happened to fucking pop on my company's social media page and say, oh, Chris fucking beat me when we were dating. Tomorrow work's like, hey, Chris, gotta let you go. Wait, why? Well, yeah, your girlfriend said your son's mother said you're a wife beater. Like, I'm not. Yeah, but she said it, so goodbye. And that's long term when it comes down to, because, and especially considering the majority of the evidence showed that she was abusing him. And people have said this is like, abusive relationships come in fucking both forms. There are women out there who abuse their boyfriends and husbands. Why aren't these guys coming forward? This is exactly why. Because nobody ever... I listened to the audio. She flat out told Johnny Depp, she's hitting Johnny Depp saying, no one's gonna believe you that I'm hitting you and you're not hitting me back. No one's gonna believe that shit. Like,
I don't feel sorry for him the same way I don't feel sorry for those women that stay in relationship with bad guys.
That was the thing, but
they stayed in those relationships, and I mean, they're just richer.
But
that's all.
But then said, but Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But then he said, you know what? Then he wanted a divorce. They got a divorce. They got a divorce. She got her $8 million. They went their separate ways. That was it. He got the fuck out of it. You know. Then later on, she goes, oh. Then she lies and says, well, he was beating me. And all the evidence shows that he wasn't beating you, but because she accused, just said it. Now he's losing movie roles. Now he's losing all his fucking money. Like,
again, I still don't feel tired for him. Those are rich people problem. He can lose all the money he wants. If he saved up a bunch of money, he should still be good. So why worry about more money?
I don't think financially he's the problem. He's in any kind of fucking problem whatsoever. I'm just pissed because so now I can't go see a new fucking Pirates movie because she's a lying sack of shit. Or I can't see,
Well, honestly, the way movies are going, I don't think the new Pirates movie, even with him, would be probably
maybe
that
not.
good.
I mean, it's the point that
because I mean, look at the new James Bond.
God,
What's his face is still in there, but they're having the black James Bond chick, which I don't really care what they do, but it's clearly from. I mean, you've seen critical from Drinker and the trailer. It's one of those things where he's not passing the torch. He's just being what's the word I'm looking for?
Emasculated. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. The emasculated. Yeah. That's the difference between passing the torch and doing that. If it's him passing the torch, I don't care. I would kind of wish it was what's that dude's name from Pacific Rim, the black guy?
John Boyega. Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Idris
Elba. Yeah.
Idris Elba. Yeah, I would like to see him as a James Bond.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't.
But it's like I want to see a passing of the torch, not just a beat down and stripping of everything, because then it's gonna bomb. Yeah. It's gonna bomb. I mean, the James Bond movie's kind of been already going down.
Well, yeah, that's because most things.
This is going to be like the new Charlie Angels.
That's because most things in Hollywood, and we talked about this before earlier with you, me and Karen, about. I watched the black guy Eric, who's a young Ripper on YouTube, and he said with the whole Miles Morales thing, yeah, it's like it's coming to comic books now. It's coming into fucking movies now. It's coming into video games. Like, I'm not gonna buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I want to hear about you hate Trump. It's what is Viking fuck? I mean, I'm not saying it does that, but it's like.
Wait, what? What's
I'm just saying it's not in there, but I'm just saying like a lot of these guys, they're doing this. They're putting like real life politics into right now. It's like with Wonder Woman 84, it got delayed because of COVID, but they flat out said, the writers said that Pedro Pascal, he's an allegory to Trump. Like, how does 1984 Wonder Woman has nothing to do with 2020 down with fucking Trump? Why is it in there for? So I'm just saying like,
Orange Man.
Yeah.
Orange Man.
So I'm just saying like if Assassin's Creed Valhalla doesn't have that, I'm just saying, but if they started making Assassin's Creed Valhalla have 2020 politics, like that's not why you're playing a Viking game for.
Miles Morales is they're putting
the
Black Lives Matter insignia in it, and I was like, okay, cool, he can go fuck himself.
That's what the guy showed. He goes, here you go again with this. And
honestly, I saw that and I was like, oh, cool, Miles Morales, that's cool. Then I saw that, I'm like, no, never mind. I'll just, if I play Spider-Man on a PS5, it'll just be
I don't support remake. Terrorism.
I don't want it. It's like, yeah, exactly. So I'm like, nope, don't want it.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need the constant fucking politics.
Vote with your money. Vote with your dollar. Some people may not.
That's we've all said in this fucking in the drink or anybody is like, this is the point of escapism. Like, that's what we try, like, at least on the podcast, drinking, having fucking fun, escaping the bullshit of politics and stuff. That's why, like, with Selena, it got kind of like a little tedious because we're like, Selena, we're all here to have fucking fun and drink and not hear about, the constant fucking Antifa and fucking white supremacy and this and that, because it's like, it's so fucking shoved down people's throats all the time. Like with the political aspect, if you don't like Trump or if you like Biden, whatever, but don't insert the shit into the fucking video games. Like, I'm not buying a Spider-Man game, so I want to hear about you hating Trump.
See, I don't mind if they do politics in a video game, but they have to do it tactfully. Or like in a movie, they have to do. If there's issues, there's way to bring up these issues to where it's not glaringly being shoved down your throat, but it's being thoughtful and presented in a way where, like, that's an interesting way of thinking about that.
Definitely not most.
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Yeah, it's hard to, because most of these people aren't rational.
You have to go back into the old movies. Today's movies, anything from 2010 and up, it's the quality of movies has been.
Deranged.
Well,
going
Watch a
down.
Drinker when he was breaking down. Listen to he was going through Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 3. When you look at the old Star Trek films and even the next gen, like if you look at the Next Generation and then look at Star Trek Picard, it's so on the fucking nose. Like there was hints there was subtleties here and there, but it wasn't beaten down your fucking throat all the damn time.
Fucking hubris.
Exactly. You can address these issues in a thoughtful way within the various genres, but it doesn't have to be overt, like right out in your face being, no one wants that. That's why all the ratings drop for football and baseball and all the sports. People want to get away from this because all the news is doing is jamming it down your throat, and they're just programming you. It's propaganda. Why do you think TV's called programming? Hey, view our next it's just all programming. And I can walk around even my neighborhood, and we go to the store, and just by looking at people and everything, I can tell who kind of watches the news and who doesn't by how paranoid people are. But it's like, so it's like with Hollywood, like I love movies, but now I'm watching old movies. Like before the podcast, I was watching The Last Dragon on Vudu.
Actually, a funny part, I texted Al about that. I check, Vudu every week. I bought it. It was on sale, $5. I'm like, yoink! I was like, Al, I text him. Guess.
It's funny.
Yeah, I just bought that shit.
Funny thing too, I was thinking about that the previous week. Like, man, I just started listening to some of the music on YouTube. Like, man, I want to see the movie again. Next time I see it on, you got it up on Vudu. I was like, ooh, man. It's like, yeah, it was cheesy, it was corny, but it was just so good. It's like I keep forgetting that every year. I keep saying I want to go on Halloween at Shogun.
Oh yeah, so that's the one. Who's the master?
Leroy.
I want to get the Shogun outfit and the glasses and the tie back fro he has.
That's why it was funny when we first mentioned. I was at the buffet with Al and mentioned I said, hey, Al, this the film Last Dragon. I was like, The Last Dragon? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Chris, you fucking seriously impressed me. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you watched Last Dragon too? I was like, Al, I told you we've watched all the same shit together, man. I was like, who didn't watch Last Dragon?
That's a masterpiece.
It's like I said, it's cheesy and corny now, but just it still gets you. The
Half
music, the soundtrack.
It's like
it's just some of the phrases we'll be saying like, "Oh, I picked it up from that movie."
That's why I say at work when I'm driving to work, I listen to the Drinker breakdown. Like the Drinker, him and his one friend broke down Face Off with Nick Cage, and it's about 3 hours. But at work, it kills time. And you look back at Face Off, you realize how fucking bad that film is, but it's so fun.
No.
Like it's like
Con Air. Oh my god!
You know a good one you guys need to rewatch? Falling Down. About that one guy who's just tired of the 9 to 5 job.
The Drinker?
Just go.
That's what I said. The Drinker. You can
the Drinker.
You can tell the Drinker. He's in the same fucking age group as us because everything he does. I'm like, this is exactly how me, Carlton, Ellie, and Al feel. That's why I was like, I watch all. Even said I've seen Jamie and Brian. Jamie's like, yeah. Do you see the new Drinker saying like Wonder Woman 84 is gonna bomb? And he broke down why it's gonna fucking bomb for. And it's like, you know what? The man's he made it. Said.
And he praised the first Wonder Woman for doing it every right, not her being a Mary Sue or anything like that. And it's just rare. It's like I honestly can't remember if he would recommend any. Besides like the
he's
boys,
been saying that. He's been saying during COVID, and he's been telling his fans. He goes, "Hey guys," he's like, with no new films coming out, he goes, "I gotta admit," he goes, I've been looking forward to and actually have more fun reviewing older films than upcoming films. And it's true. It's like. I mean, say the past few years, like say I watched it with Al, but like Joker, and they weren't lying. I rented Ford versus Ferrari with Christian Bale and Matt Damon. Fucking between Joker and Ford versus Ferrari, best two films of 2019, hands down. And
sometimes there's those little gems that. And it's funny too. These are just regular gems. These are not the cancel cultures don't. And I was telling this to Karen. It's like the cancel culture. They only go after big name games and big name movies. Because that's all they are. They will never go after a book because God forbid they actually read a book, they dedicate 12, 20 hours of their time.
That's why.
Unless it's one of those children's book that they can flip through in 5 seconds.
That's the thing.
And they're also not going after music.
They are.
It's only movies.
They're going after Sia now because she turned her music into a movie. Maybe about herself, and all these progressive dipshits are mad because she has that little girl Maddie portraying a character who is autistic, and people
who is this?
Sia, the crazy chick who doesn't look into the camera when she sings.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've heard
I don't know this person at all.
That song "Swing
Pretty
from
much,
the Chandelier."
if you're not an artist, if you're an artist after 2010, I probably don't know you.
Yeah. Well, I just seen like earlier, like, and this will be another article, like Cardi B, like won Woman of the Year, and I'm like, as if 2020, it's like, you know what, Chris, we just want to fuck you even harder. Let's make Cardi B Woman of the Year.
Well, you know what the thing is about this is Cardi B won because the only people that actually are interested in this are the people that follow her. Like every other normal day people, they don't care. She probably got the votes from maybe 1,000, maybe I'll say 100,000 people. But that's all. That's, you know, she's just from a small niche of the population that follow her.
And PC.
You know, like I said, if it wasn't for the whole her interview and Joe Biden thing, that I would not know who the hell this woman was. Or, and of course, you guys
talk
talk
the power
about
of her wet ass pussy. I'm like, fuck. I mean, the fact that just said that's our number one song. It's literally called Wet Ass Pussy. Like, boy,
I forgot about her until her new dipshit husband started waving a gun at Trump supporters because she made a video whining and crying how, oh, Trump supporters, white supremacy and fear, but yet your husband is waving a gun at people, so who should we really be afraid of?
Pretty much, I feel for the most part, any artists, especially musicians, since 2010, they're just a trend. They're going to be irrelevant soon. I mean, look, if you think back to the decades, look how iconic a lot of these songs, how, you know, transcendent they are through the decades. And now it's like, I've never heard a Cardi B song. Apparently it's number one, but obviously it's not that popular if I haven't heard it. And I'm on YouTube a lot, you know, or, you know, it's like, unless you have, I guess you probably only hear this stuff if you listen to the regular radio, but I don't listen to the regular radio. I listen to Sirius. There's been
difference between this is why, you know, the Beatles lasted 50 years and Elvis did, and like it.
Exactly,
like,
the Beatles, timeless.
Oh yeah.
Elton John, a lot of his songs, timeless. Queen, timeless. Michael Jackson, timeless. You know, good quality music. You start even in the 90s and early 2000s. You know, those are good songs. But ever since 2010, music-wise, personally, I feel. I mean, I'm not saying there hasn't been good songs, but I'm just saying from the songs that are out, it doesn't feel like it's been a very musical year. It's just been trends. It's been empty. It's just been shallow.
That's what it is. It's
music.
It appeals to a certain demographic and it has no longevity.
Yeah. You know? It appeals to the easily, what is it? The easily gratified, the instant gratification. That's what it appeals to. The selfish nature of these kids. And Karen brought up an interesting thing. She's like, all those kids like that been raised with babysitters since like 2000. Now they're like, you know, young adults and stuff. And they're the ones who've been raised by babysitters, been on the participation awards that were given everything. Now they're adults. And now they're, you know, that's why they ask for all that. They want their handout because they don't know hard work. And I'm not saying everyone, but it seems like, you know, majority of these people are. Why do you think there's like all these people out there crying for this or that? They're listening to these shallow music. I mean, I listen to rap, but Biggie and Tupac, their rap, you know, it had meaning. You know, even though it was gangster rap, it had meaning to it.
Damn.
It's just nowadays, I mean, I don't know. Ever since, like I said, 2010, it's just been a turning point for me. It's like, I feel like it's hard to find any good music.
Yeah, true.
I haven't, honestly, I may have a few artists that maybe from since 2010 that I've downloaded, but I can't, it's probably a handful where if you look at, I have like 500 songs on my iPod and I'll say 95% of them is before 2000.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then movies, God, I mean,
I was gonna say with
it's just
you figure about stuff like Ford versus Ferrari and then Joker. Those are like Joker essentially is back in kind of the 80s kind of vibe, and Ford versus Ferrari was kind of back in the 70s. So the thing is, they could try, but they can't. They can't fucking insert 2020 politics into a film that's 1970 or 1980. Some people try with these whole period pieces because like.
Oh, Wonder Woman 1984.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like it got lucky enough that films like Ford versus Ferrari, but like I said, the thing is. Ford versus Ferrari wasn't a big like Marvel or DC name, so they couldn't try that bullshit, you know.
Exactly, it was such a an average name that all the cancel culture is like, oh, this is not going to be important. They're going after anything Marvel, anything Disney. They're going after the big movies because that's how limited their view is. That's why, the cancel culture may seem dangerous, but they're actually just very limited. They're just going after what's most trendy.
What worries me and stuff is like, I seen this maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. I could have trolled the guy, but I'm like, you know what? He seemed like one of them fucking pussies where if I said something, he'd probably like, try to find out where I work or something or try to like make some shit about me. But like, with Assassin's Creed Valhalla just came out. Now, apparently there was one character that was, and I read an article, which is how fucked up it is, that like one character was considered disfigured and stuff, and how like the woman looked at him. So this guy literally writes to Ubisoft on his Twitter account, and he goes, my girlfriend was in a fire when she was younger, and she finds terms like disfigured bothersome, and I guess it's a new term called ableist, when a person's like, you're being ableist, like how, racist and whatever it is. So Ubisoft said, oh, we apologize, we'll take out this term of disfigured in Assassin's Creed Valhalla over a single tweet.
I knew a chick whose whole face was kind of burnt off, and she lived her life to the fullest.
I was reading the article more, and of course, now this is what happens all the time. This guy is being a total fucking prick about it and saying, hey guys, look what I just did. I just got an entire company to change up their dialogue just because of my one tweet. Now, I wonder what other companies I can go after. It's like, that's the issue. A single fucking tweet. Now, it wasn't a big issue. It's just a fucking principle of like one single person. Like, this has been the problem with all these companies. Like,
Ubisoft is the corporate machine anyway, so that's why. For Ubisoft, I'll play the games if I agree with them. But it goes back to his vote with the wild. It's like they can do whatever they want to the games. I'm never going to play Last of Us 2. It has nothing to do with what they're saying. It just looks like, from what you said, from the reviews and the videos, I'm like, no, don't interest me. I don't. The way they killed off Joe, I'm like, I don't care for that.
Ubisoft is removing ableist language from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the change will come in the next game's update. So I'll try to. Carlton, you probably didn't see it, but like
there has been no update, so it might still be in the game.
It says horribly burned in a childhood accident. Ear Forwin is terrified someone will see her disfigured face. She relieves her fury with bursts of violence. And this total fucking scumbag, here he goes. I didn't include this in my Assassin's Creed Valhalla impressions piece, but it's equally important to address. This is a character description in the game. It's absolutely unacceptable to talk about facial differences this way. Writers for games need to do better. So, my girlfriend, who was a burn victim and spent many years ashamed of her scars, was sitting beside me when I came upon this bit in the game and the look on her face. I was embarrassed that this was her impression of the industry that I love so much. That gets like 100 likes. So, of course, in response, the official Assassin's Creed account apologized on behalf of the development team and said the phrasing will be changed in a future patch.
Well, see, as I said, they're going after, only reason why they went after this, because these are big, mainstream, trendy things. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to get hit too when it comes out. People are already upset about it because they didn't include Black Lives Matter politics into it. And they said, this is the future. This has nothing to do with our current politics. And I said, they go out there, they read, like the books I'm reading, they have to be descriptive on situations like this. They would never go after books because they'll have to read and actually understand what the author's trying to write.
You know which book they would not be able to comprehend? Joe Ledger. Especially at the second or third one about the fringe science, how they splice people with animals.
That's the second one, yeah. The second
guy
one.
Who's lived for so long was like, yeah, I want to kill entire groups of people who I find inferior. I'm like, well, dude, you just splice people with gorillas and they just murdered a whole village. I'm not fucking with you.
Exactly. They're going after soft targets, the same as like psychopaths go after
weak people.
Prostitutes. Exactly. High risk targets, and but when it comes to terms of video games and movies, they're going after soft targets because they don't have any real thought. And if they're listening, and I piss them off good, because it just shows the extent. It's easy to. I think a lot of these people are just bullshit and they're on the trend. It's these little kids because all Ubisoft tries to be, one I get from the games, as authentic as possible. And just and it's like to say this is the description of the person has nothing to do with, just because your girlfriend feels this way doesn't mean everyone else does.
Is she even real though? Is she real? And did he burn her? Is my question.
Yeah.
Did he?
But like I said, that's why for the most part too, it's like, if these companies are going to bend their knees, that's fine. It's just the further their knee bends, the less money they get from me. That, like I have a lot of games. There's a lot of games I want to go back and play, so it doesn't necessarily mean I have to go forward. I mean, besides Cyber, Punk that's coming out, I mean, there's honestly not another game I can see on the horizon. It's, that I want to, currently play. I mean, Halo Infinite, but, I can go back to The Witcher 3. I mean, The Witcher 3, God, there's burns stuff in there, but they don't talk about that because that was before this all Me Too and cancel culture. Yeah. So I said people may seem as a threat, but it's just all it is. They're going after easy targets, and the news is backing them up. And I think they're making this to be a lot bigger than it is.
Isolated.
I mean, for the most part, I don't think it's as huge as it is. And the companies want to bend the knee. What happens? Get woke, go broke, and companies are losing money. I mean, just how it is. And this trend will go on for a little bit, but then, people will wake up.
People just need to grow a pair and stop bending the knee to these
idiots. I think this is just, for the most part, once these little twindy, crybabies get a little older in life, they really have to start facing life. Like when they get into their 30s, and then the next generation comes around who had a little bit more hardship, then, I mean, of course, I'm talking like another 10 years we have to wait, but it's not going to last forever.
Have they not played the other Assassin's Creed games? Because I remember the one where you're in Egypt, where literally you could hallucinate and see all the plagues that God threw against people. It's like, okay, that's cool. There was disfigured people all around. It's like, okay, and
those people. It's just, again, you have to look at when all this cancel culture really started, and then it's just everything after that. Nothing before, for the most part. It's mostly everything after, unless it's a big name thing. But it's just, it's just crazy. But
just holding people's hands.
But as you're saying,
just something simple.
We have the power. That's why I don't get microtransactions. It's my money.
Yeah.
If I don't support it, I'm not going to pay for it.
I'm upset with Resident Evil 7 because that chick cut off that dude's hand, and he was just a one-armed guy for a period of time.
So, I just been following your posts, just pulling up a lot of random shit for comedy and other sense. But like, this is kind of weird. Wish everyone was here to give an opinion. But okay, a 12-year-old boy was arrested for prank 911 call that led to SWAT team response.
Wow.
Okay, so a 12-year-old boy, Christian, I mean, I would. It's like he'd be fucking begging SWAT to pick him up if I got a hold of him. But,
he'll still get his ass handed before I hand him over to SWAT.
The boy,
like, put him in jail, scare him straight.
The boy claimed that his mother shot his father and was hiding with the gun inside a bathroom. Of course, he showed up. Police responded in numbers to a Santa Rosa address provided by the boy, but it was later determined he did not live there, the report said. The child was supposed to meet the police outside the residence. When he could not be found, police were able to reach the occupants of the apartment, who were unaware of the emergency response outside of their home. Investigators tracked him down, and let's see. The district attorney's office will decide if the boy is charged with a crime. Police do not believe the youngster knew the occupants of the home that was targeted with their SWAT response, but like, gotta be something. That kid better get some fucking, like, that's how.
Well,
he'll get juvenile. That's the most he can do is juvie.
Like that kind of.
But I'm just saying, good. I mean,
you need to take him out.
And it's again, this kid's watching all these news of SWAT and stuff that's going on from his video game, and he's gonna mimic it.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for anyone who does stupid shit.
It comes down to so much where, like, is it a generational thing or assholes? But like, none of us at 12 we're doing this shit.
Because we didn't have everything that people have now. People are like the point I was literally trying to make last week is fantasize. People fantasize about all this. They see other people do it. They hear about everybody else doing it on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, whatnot. And it's like, well, if these people can do it, I can do it because they didn't get in trouble. They fantasize that just because somebody else did it and it's online, it's fine by them. And then realization hits them like a fucking freight train. 5-1, that kid pissed himself and cried when he was dragged out of his house and
he cried for his mommy.
Well, thankfully, nobody was killed because that little prick decided to do that. And if someone's like, you're calling a 12-year-old a prick? Yeah, because people die in swatting easily. It's a horrific act, and that kid's a little prick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. And you're onto something, Ellie, where it's like, these kids, they're watching all this Twitch and all this YouTube, and apparently YouTube's like, oh, we're banning, but they're only banning certain groups of people. And so when they got videos of people calling SWAT on other people, these kids are like, oh, I can do that. And they're looking for that 5 minutes of fame to get them famous, to get them rich. I kind of feel like maybe it is a general thing, a generational thing, but also maybe a technological thing. Because who's to say that if we had this technology back in the 80s and the 90s, how would that affect us? I remember,
like, even going to high school and stuff, we had, at least in 1 year, we had like fucking, in Cohoes, like 10 different bomb scares, and like kept happening. At one point, the principals were getting pissed off to the point where they weren't letting kids out. Like, then that became a big news article and a controversy. Like, if there's bomb scares, your students have to leave the premises. And like, well, this has been happening like every week for the past 10 weeks in a row. So like, even bomb scares that's like a different version of swatting in a sense, but people were just assholes in general. I mean, I was 14 going to high school, so 12-year-old in middle school, even back in 90s, we're still doing stupid shit. But like,
but if those,
I think now that with the technology, that stupid shit is more widespread,
and it's just
easier to see, easier to do. So it's like it could just be. I mean, I do think it's more of a generational thing, just the way these kids are raised on everyone gets a trophy, but then you add technology. I mean, and everyone can just do their bullying and their stalking, everything.
Definitely generational. Generation
cyber
could be a factor because we've always said before, like our idols, like we watch Fresh Prince, we watch Family Matters, we watch Ninja Turtles. They always taught us stuff. A lot of these kids now, who's your fucking idol? PewDiePie. Who's your idol? Ninja on Twitch. Who's your idol? This guy Shroud on Twitch. Who's your
Cardi B?
This one guy on TikTok is my idol. I'm like, yep. And then like Elliot said, they keep saying, well, so and so swatted somebody. He's fine. Like, okay.
But have you heard that a lot of countries are banning TikTok because it's filled with pedophiles and predators, and it's becoming a danger that a lot of parents are finding that these grown men are talking to their underage kids. Let me get a picture. Where do you live? Oh, by the way, it's like, well, why aren't you being a parent and actually putting in safeguards? Why do kids need these big ass phones for? Someone's like, well, in case something happens. Well, you're in school. Why do you need an iPhone? Add a number to it because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, our granddaughters, since everything went remote, they have to talk to their friends, on the phone stuff. So what the parents do, the daughter and son, they have an app or program. So every time the girls text someone or is in a chat room, they get emails of screenshots of everything that's said, so they can see everything.
Very smart.
Yep, it's like because it's like the girls want to go off and they want to just chat with their friends that they missed from class, but you don't know if that someone else can hop in. So they can stay every night. When the girls, if they do this, they check everything. I don't know how they quite explain it, but they can see everything later, of what they did from minute one, every text, every tweet, everything. So they're constantly aware, and that's what good parents do. They need to monitor their kids, especially if we're going to introduce them technology.
Yes.
Like that's why they're homeschooling now, because they were doing remote, and then the father, he got up, he sat down, was listening in, and he was like, "These kids aren't learning anything. What they're learning is just ridiculous." And so he took them out of school, and they're being homeschooled until this all blows over.
Well, as of right now, reading up on stuff. I guess only India's only country that's banned TikTok, but it's very big for China because China created the app, and of course China
created and can control it. China's a big old controller.
Earlier, actually yesterday, this one girl, I keep forgetting her name because I don't care, but she's like TikTok's like biggest whatever star. She's fucking 16, and she lost like 1 million followers, and she had this breakdown like, I'm so upset, I'm crying my eyes out because I lost 1 million followers. She's got like 69 million, some 70 million fucking followers, and she lost 1 million for some like controversy with her chef or some shit, her own personal chef baking her and her sister food, and I'm like, you're fucking 16, get over it. It's like, and she's like devastated and crying, and I'm like, this is why you're devastated and crying for? You have to, on this shitty platform, the number one fucking person, you've lost 1 million followers, so have like 70 fucking 2 million people, and like, I'm breaking down and I'm so upset, like, oh, shut up.
Good.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe she needs to lose more.
Or maybe get a job, like, or go to
yeah. Well, me and Ben, we talk about this sometime. I mean, we're like, we watch the news and we watch documentaries, and it's like, you know what we need? We need another war. That we need the war to happen here to wake up these people, because like the armies that invade, they're not going to care about your feelings.
Yeah.
They're not going to care about. I mean, I don't want that. I don't want people to die. I'm just saying something just to wake these people up.
Sorry.
They're in a dream state. This
asshole has 98 fucking million followers. Thank God I'm not one of them, but she has 98 million. She lost 1 million followers, and I'm having a fucking breakdown. My life is over, and
good.
You lost 1 million, bitch. You got fuck up.
Good, yeah, good for nothing.
Yeah.
What are you doing to keep those 98 million people? I know someone's gonna be like, "That's fucked up to say." Well, TikTok is disturbing.
Well, that's a big ass. Is that worldwide?
No,
or
that's
just
world.
In America?
TikTok is worldwide. There's it's banned in one place. There's a lot of people going through the procedure. I know they want to ban it here because of information leaks and
you laughed
safety issues.
Part of her video, she's like, "Oh, I just wish I had more time because imagine if I hit 100 million people after 1 year after hitting 1 million." So within a year, she went from 1 million people to 100 million.
What is she doing to get that many?
She's the one that does the OK Boomer dance.
I guess. She's not 16. That's I know what her name is.
No.
Pokimane, I think, or something.
That's a different. That's on Twitch. So.
Well, these people constantly people link their Twitch, their YouTube, and their TikTok.
She honestly isn't that popular. If I ever heard of it.
Well, it's because you're not on TikTok 19 times a day. So
exactly.
I follow this guy called Memology 101 on YouTube, and he months back brought this up that, and I was just dying because I guess this Pokemon person said she had a boyfriend and lost a shit ton of followers because all these guys are like, "Oh, that's fucking bullshit that you have a boyfriend," and I'm like, wait, so everything is fine, but she has a boyfriend and you lose your shit. I'm like, God, it must suck to be a beta male.
This is why it's laughing because I'm reading through this from like New York Post and stuff, and she said like, it's the mean comments that she's struggling with. She said in a tearful live stream event.
Okay, boomer.
She went live on her Instagram page to talk about followers about her criticism. A YouTube video was posted on her family's channel on November 16th, in which some people called her rude, entitled, thank you, and ungrateful.
Yeah.
And of course, she's crying, saying, it was a huge misunderstanding. Yeah.
Must be really hard.
It's completely blown out of proportion, she said. No matter what I say, no matter how I handle any of this, people are still going to think what they're going to think, and that's fine, because those are the people who in the long run weren't going to be there for me at the end of the day. That's fine. You calm down, you know?
I got more things to worry about than what.
Wait, there was
some.
She has all these followers, but at the end of the day, she's actually alone. No one's going to care for her. Who knows if these people are just watching her? Just
and once again, kind of social media.
Realize, wow,
like all these people.
Well,
the guy, it's funny. The guy Jeremy there from the Quartering F watching YouTube. I follow his Twitter. His Twitter's hilarious. And he made a comment yesterday. He's like, "Yeah, this chick loses 1 million followers." He goes, "I feel so bad for somebody who's literally contributed nothing to society."
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
Thank you.
Imagine if technology vanished tomorrow. These people would die. These people
would vanish into obscurity.
I can't. These people would kill themselves because they literally have nothing else going for their life except for getting on this video.
One of her douchebag friend Charles Charles, who was in the YouTube video, also defended his friend when fans started tagging him in the comments.
Wait, Charles James?
Maybe I try to look up there. James Charles.
Yeah, that guy who kind of forces himself on other men because he can't understand the definition of no. Yeah, to hell with these people.
Of course, he said, she is so grateful for everyone that supports her. He goes, I don't like these comments that are dragging her down. Oh, you poor thing. I mean, just
learn what no means, Charles James. Learn what no means.
Awesome.
Well, with somebody like him having her back, it brings up more questions.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's hard being 16. I mean, imagine when 3 of us were 16, if we had a social media phone and stuff, we only had 98 million followers. How could we ever just pay our fucking bills? I have no idea.
This is when I was 16, bullying still happened in school, and you were supposed to stand up to your bully.
I had things like I worked at me and Carlton, we worked, up in the fucking park there. Me and Mark worked at Altamont Fair, and I first got my job at 16 at Burger King. Making $5.15 an hour. But you're killing yourself with your 45-second videos when you're 98 million followers, and boy, that's calm down, killer.
Yeah.
And I'm having a breakdown because I lost 1 million.
Yeah.
How will I survive?
Social media has taken over the world, and it is breeding the dumbest fucking people ever.
Yeah. Anyway, so something funny. New York Post. A look inside a bizarre and controversial orgasmic meditation program for women. So, lady.
Is that uni massages?
I believe this is. Well, let's get into this. For all the women out there like this chick, Becca. No.
Random.
Because I think I've read something about that a year or two ago.
A controversial wellness company promoted orgasmic meditation for women. But the ex-staffers say the program, which featured group pleasuring sessions, ultimately made them feel awful. It's called One Taste, founded by California. Yeah. So it's founded by California native Nicole.
Of course, it's from a California native.
In 2001, they offered hands-on orgasm training for women who are seeking to develop their sexuality to heal sexual trauma. But ex-staffers say that the company was a complete sex cult. So,
I'm not surprised.
The series promises first-person accounts from former staffers, plus graphic descriptions of the meditation themselves. It involves a woman undressing from the waist down, lying on a nest of pillows, and having her clitoris stroked, usually by a man. Shocker there. Very precisely on the upper left-hand quadrant, the so-called, if you're listening, take notes, the so-called 1 o'clock spot. It says, they tell listeners, describing what people would call the O-emming, their catchphrase for orgasmic meditation. So
wait, you're telling me, let me get this straight. You're telling me to help women who may or may not have been sexually assaulted or abused, you're going to lay down and some guy you don't even know is going to touch you, and that's it.
A timer goes off after 15 minutes. So, boy.
You're gonna pay us to have some stranger fuck your life up.
So, this is that, okay. Group classes could allegedly involve dozens of women at once. So, One Taste has been the subject of controversy at least since 2018, when Bloomberg News published an expose on the international company. This is where I laugh for, because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sex is simple for me. It's pretty straight cut forward. But many students signed up to work as salespeople, helping promote workshops, retreats, and coaching programs that cost up to $60,000. In 2018, customers were paying $500 for a weekend course, $4,000 for a retreat, $12,000 for the coaching program, and $60,000 for an all-inclusive option. So, I guess if Carlton's bored one weekend.
Yeah, this is like a scam that's no different from those huge church scams where they gather people and they heal the people in a wheelchair. And if these are young people that are getting ripped out of their money, they deserve it. Old people, they kind of need help and they're easily swindled. So I feel bad for them, but these young people, they want to pay that.
So,
you pay that.
Ex-staffers told them that they were pressured to have sex with potential clients to get them to sign up for their pricey programs. and that the sales methods were predatory, putting people in deep debt. Like, so I'm gonna go to a resort and you're gonna pay me to have sex with this woman.
Wait,
you're pressuring me to have sex with her. Like,
so that's like prostitution.
Wait, see, why would they use the word predatory? Because you're gonna, yet again, they're gonna heal people who may or may not have been abused with complete strangers who are just gonna touch you and do what they need to, and you're just supposed to take.
Staff worked mostly on commission, earning hardly anything while living in such expensive cities as San Francisco, New York, and London. Some workers were expected to flirt or even have sex with customers to close sales. Allegedly, employees were expected to make one taste their entire lives. So now the FBI is making inquiries into their activities, including sex trafficking, prostitution, and violations of labor laws. So yeah. The group is on hiatus. Their website has been discontinued, as their 1-800 number at the website. The group's YouTube channel hasn't uploaded a new video in 2 years. So, more than 300,000 people practice orgasmic meditation worldwide.
The fuck?
Hey. Yeah, because that reminds me, there was, I forgot when this was, a few years back, it was on the news. They had these what's called uni clinics, or I forgot what it was called, but basically a woman will go in and these massages would sexually relieve her. So I'm like, oh, so it's like a happy ending for a woman. Like, how is this not different than prostitution? It was like under a lot of scrutiny because it was in the news. I was like, that is the most ridiculous shit I ever heard. Could I read it in a newspaper? I don't know, but I came across this. I was like, how is this any different from prostitution? Or, and they're saying, oh, well, this is completely different. I'm like, doesn't look different to me.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I haven't had a lot of girlfriends, but at least, like, they say, Chris, at least you tried. I wasn't always successful, but I tried my goddamn this. Like, it's like, honey, for this weekend, I'm going to spend about $4,000 to find a way to get you off. And I won't do it myself. The guy over there, Bob's going to do it for me. Like,
$4,000 do that, but you can't spend $20 in a bookstore and with a book with illustrations, or hell, just watch porn.
Yeah, boy.
And just learn from that.
So I talked about this with Carlton and Karen a little bit, but I mean,
the world is crazy. It's fucking.
It's funny because it's just like, I'm sorry, it's funny. You're spending up to $60,000 to find a way to get
Mark is gonna send an application.
Mark probably already spent that already on these YouTube and Twitch.
Damn.
He probably already spent that shit already.
So breaking news, guys. With this is Saturday. This upcoming Thursday is Thanksgiving 2020. I can't wait. So Governor Cuomo can't get sheriffs to enforce the 10-person cap on Thanksgiving dinner. Now, if you're listening to this, we are in New York State, except for Carlton's not. But he lived in New York State most of his life. And we have Governor Cuomo, who many people think is handling this COVID pretty fucked up. So what he's doing for Thanksgiving is that he expects sheriffs and law enforcement to go door to door and check people's houses. And if you have more than 10 people inside your house, they're going to arrest you. Okay.
But also too, as I was saying, the sheriffs, they are not going to enforce that.
Yeah. He says
the only way that's going to be enforced is if neighbors spy on neighbors.
Which,
even then the sheriffs won't go out there. Even then, most sheriffs won't go out there and do that. And the funny thing is, too, on the news, there are still millions of people getting ready to travel for the holidays that they're denying all of the COVID lockdowns. It's like either COVID. Most people like COVID's not a big deal, and a lot of people believe that. Or if COVID is supposed to be this bad, then I want to see my family for one more time. Yeah. So, I mean, the airports, there's pictures of airports filling up for travel. People, only people that are really going to adhere to this are should be the elderly, because they are susceptible, people with comorbidities. But those are the only people that everyone else, I mean, in last week, we had a 15-person Thanksgiving dinner because the babies weren't going to be up for Thanksgiving due to the father's PTO, his vacation time. So they came up. We had all of us and his side of the family. There's 15 of us here. You know, we're all smart people. We all take safety precautions in our own lives, and we're all safe having this meet. You know, and everyone's fine.
Except for that turkey.
And yeah, that turkey got destroyed.
He got wrecked.
I was gonna take pictures of all the food, but I was like, nah, I don't want Al and Chris and them to kill themselves.
I'll be eating good this year, so hopefully. But yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm just having steak something. Even though I got a turkey, I'm gonna save it for Christmas.
I was gonna just Carlton. He puts on the fucking rope and coffee cup, goes outside, looks at his neighbors, just sitting there like 9, 10, 11.
That son of a bitch has 12. Police.
I don't care if people have 20 cars as long as they're not parked by my house or in my driveway.
Karen, like, yo, remember Joe? Remember they pulled that bullshit last week? He blocked the car in. So Joe, what's up? Got 11 cars there, buddy.
How many people per car?
Yeah. So Cuomo is saying that he's having a hard time getting sheriffs across the state on board with enforcing his 10-person limit. He quotes, "I don't believe as a law enforcement officer you have a right to pick and choose what laws you will enforce."
It's not a law.
Yeah, but that's not a law. He's just saying that. It's not been signed into law.
But a slew of upstate sheriffs have already declared they won't be checking up on gatherings come Turkey Day, arguing limited sources and other public safety priorities. That Trump, he wants them to count cars. He wants them to count cars in driveways and investigating how much turkey and dressing a household may purchase.
You're fucking sick. So in other words, he wants everybody to, Mr. Cuomo, yeah, this one woman got 3 turkeys. Some shit's going on. Here's the receipt info.
That is frankly frightening to me as an individual, frightening to democracy. It's arrogant and a violation of constitutional duty. I didn't say I swear to uphold the laws that I agree with. I didn't say that, he continued. If I don't agree, this is coming from, a sheriff. So he's saying that if I don't agree with a law, then I'm not going to enforce the law. No, doesn't matter what my opinion is. I'm a law enforcement officer. I enforce the laws. I don't get to pick and choose. No, the move has ruffled the likes of politicians as well. And
well, he got one thing wrong. The United States of America isn't a democracy; it's a constitutional republic. So he needs to learn his history.
New York City Mayor Bill De Blasio, he said that his own NYPD has too much on their plate to creep on individual parties, arguing he'll be focused on an educational campaign, so New Yorkers can make informed decisions on their own. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to stop too, because also too a lot of people, they're seeing all these Democrats going to huge 50-person parties and stuff for their holidays. So it's like, why can you guys do this and then say sorry on TV and tell us not to?
I just find that I don't get shooting Karen the number system. Like, okay, if I go to my cousin's house and I have COVID and there's 9 people on number 10, so what? Because now the number 10 makes them all 9 immune to this shit? Like,
well, wait, you can't be out after 10 p.m. You can't have more than 10 people. Hold on.
It's like fucking Gremlins, but with COVID.
If
you're outside after 9 p.m., you get COVID. You know, if there's more than 10 people, you mutate into COVID. Well, like all of you just get COVID.
I've seen them do. They told cops not to do anything with people rioting and looting, and that was more than 10 people breaking windows in. So, make up your mind. Can we not have Thanksgiving, or can more than 10 people riot and loot the same store? Which is it?
Christmas is going to be fucking fun.
Black Friday, get the hell out of here. That shit's a nightmare.
Maybe. People are not going to, most people are not going to stop their holiday plans. The only people that are going to remain and listen are the ones programmed, again, by the media.
Yeah.
I'll say maybe a third of the country is going to listen, while the rest, they're going to do their holidays. If they were so worried about this, Black Walmart, Target, all of these stores would be closed down starting now, and they're not. They're getting ready for their big Black Fridays. People are going to be crowded. I mean, so you're saying that you can have a huge crowd of protesters and stuff, but you can't have a huge crowd and, going shopping? What's the difference?
Yeah.
There's just too many hypocrisies going on. I think if I use the word correctly, I don't know.
This is kind of weird, but I mean, this is sometimes where justice does itself. But so a man awaiting trial in Australia for allegedly murdering his teenage girlfriend was killed in a prison beating. He was 37 taken to a hospital in critical condition when another inmate bashed his head during the fight. He spent several days in ICU and then he died. But he was locked up in charges for his 16-year-old girlfriend. Okay, but apparently he brutally beat her in June 2018. So that's what years ago. So he would have been he would have been 35 and 16. Okay, and 16-year-old. But then he stuffed her body into a barrel and dumped it in the back of an abandoned truck. Their dad reported her missing, and the body wasn't found until days later. So prosecutors said that he allegedly refused to take the girl to a hospital after he pummeled her. So he was set to stand trial at a later date and for charges of murder, torture, and deprivation of liberty, and interfering with a corpse. So, and prison inmates beat him to death. So
good.
Sometimes it does happen, but even just like, damn, it's like if I had a 16-year-old daughter and she's like, "Hey, Dad, he's my boyfriend Joe. He's 35. We gotta have a talk."
Hey, can you help me get some wood from behind the shed?
Yeah, but is the same standards of Australia the same as America? Can 16-year-olds be considered adults there?
It's what, like, yeah, we talk about in this podcast. I mean, it's like it comes down to what's legality. But everybody here, like, if Christian's like, "Hey, he's 14. Hey, Dad's my girlfriend. How old is she? 30. Okay, we gotta talk."
Yeah, there may be a legal precedent, but there's also a moral precedent too.
If Christian's 14 and he's dating a 30-year-old, you're gonna be like, nice.
I'm just gonna be walking away like I'm not gonna do this.
Look at her like, why would you fuck me? Like, what's Jesus Christ? Like,
because you're older than her and she doesn't like that.
Yeah,
we're coming for you, Becca.
Nice.
We're coming for you.
But
like, I know people.
It's like Junior ass got caught in Destiny.
Probably, so.
Oh man, I just got lost track of time. I was filming.
It's only Destiny.
It is fun. I can lie. I do like this. I do like the storyline. This new Beyond Light thing. Pretty cool. I found this randomly. Like, sometimes when you talk about celebrities doing nice things, help out their friends, but like, this is like why I want to talk to. When Selena was here, an argument I had with people online a week ago about Kardashians and shit. But when I was trying to break down what celebrities doing nice things and not hearing about it, so like, George Clooney once gave, and this happened years ago, never publicized till right now, but George Clooney once gave 14 friends $1 million each in cash. So George,
I saw the headlines for that article, but I didn't read it because I was just like, don't care.
So
rich fucking people giving rich people money.
Before he settled down, it says that he visited a warehouse in an undisclosed location to pick up $14 million in cash to surprise his 14 closest friends. So that,
jeez.
Said he was appearing in Gravity, a thriller with Sandra Bullock. The film wasn't expected to hit. Okay? Mm-hmm. So he said that he was given percentages of the movie instead of a salary, which happens a lot. So it was a hit. Anyway, so he walked away with a few $1 million. He didn't have a family then. He wasn't married yet. So instead of saving it, he opted to giving it away in cash to his friends. And I thought, without them, I don't have any of this. He said to his friends, we're all really close. And I just thought, basically, if I get hit by a bus, they're all in the will. So why the fuck am I waiting to get hit by a bus? So, as he tells the magazine, he drove an old van to a warehouse in downtown Los Angeles where they have giant pallets of cash, filled luggage with $14 million worth, and called his friends over to his house. And I just held up a map and I just pointed to all the places I got to go in the world, all things I've gotten to see because of them. He's like, how do you repay someone like that? He's like, you know what then? How about $1 million? So, I mean, it's so cool that, like, who knows what his friends' finances are, but just the fact that he gave 14 random friends, here's $1 million in cash for being my friend because you helped me be who I am today. I still, like, I would assume said anybody, if I hit the Powerball, trust me, everybody I know would be hooked the fuck up. Like,
my thing is, why are all these celebrities bringing this shit up now? And
it wasn't him; it was the article. This came from GQ magazine, but like, that's what, like I said.
Yeah, but why do you? I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, did he just tell them, okay, I'm gonna tell the magazine this, but they can't release it for 10 years? Or
I mean, I guess it was a recent interview, but that's what I'm saying. Like, these are just like things that. That's what to say about what comes a lot of these guys with celebrity and charity and stuff. A lot of times they do shit. They did shit a decade ago, and they just felt like having a casual conversation about it.
Oh yeah. They probably that's what most celebrities are doing nowadays. Is just interviews.
With Keanu, like you told me about that thing with the store. I never heard about that till you told me. But how long ago did he do that? Just help a random person open a fucking business because he could, But the point I was trying to make with people like the Kardashians, for example, is every time they give a fucking homeless guy $1, they got to fucking make a Twitter account or Twitter post or Instagram post about it. Like, they don't do things just out of the kindness of their heart. It's got to be publicized, you know?
I'm such a nice person. Look at me doing nice things. I think these people who donate sometimes are only doing nice things because they have to. It's not because they want to. They have to because of their public status, their image.
Oh.
I mean, like the whole thing with Joe Biden where he opened a cancer foundation, but only paid, like, got millions of donations, but only put like 3,100 towards or 3,900 towards actual research. And the rest went for salaries.
Him and his wife.
Over 10 years.
They ripped off.
So it's like, yeah, like it's like all these people, they put out all this stuff because I feel like, they feel like they have to. I mean, Bill Gates, his wife gave millions to, there's no doubt about it. She loves the AIDS Foundation.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's like when I see, again, like you're saying about the Kardashians, it's like, and also, we were talking about this earlier where it's like they can just get a tax rebate for all these charities and
tax
stuff.
write-offs and all kinds of shit. I mean, it's something I'll get into
later.
Write-offs. Have you been keeping up on The Mandalorian? Okay.
No.
Well, just like,
I mean, I've been seeing some headlines, but I haven't watched
what's
the new
up,
one yet.
Because like last night, Gina Carano, who was she was in a bunch of different films. She was in Deadpool and stuff. I keep forgetting the character's name.
Angel.
But she was like, in the first season Mandalorian. She's been, has a pretty decent following, and because she keeps going on Twitter, boy, she pissing people the fuck off. And of course, like anything. So last night's episode, she came back for a character, Cara Dune. That was in season 1, and has been a big, well, not big, but like it is. A certain fucking Twitter mob saying they want to fire Gina Carano from The Mandalorian because of like all of her insane tweets and stuff and her views. And I like The Drinker. The Drinker got me into following Gina Carano. And this week I've watched like 19 YouTube videos about her. All guys are saying like, if you piss her off, she'll go back on her Twitter account and she'll troll you back. And like, yeah, she's like, from things like, people saying like, what's your pronoun? I don't want to make my pronoun. You have to put your pronouns. No, I don't. And she put down the whole beep, bop, boop, and that's anti-transphobic, okay. But she made like, I read her tweet from a couple of days, like a week ago, where she mentioned the mask things. Like she was just saying, she put pictures of people fucking wearing masks over their eyes instead of their fucking mouths, saying like how blind people are to truth and facts. And she flat out said like, we should be opening up more businesses and stuff. And she made a good fucking point. She's like, these rules and regulations don't make sense. She's like, you can tell people that like, they can't open their business when they're taking precautions, but they can go to church. They can go to church without masks on altogether. She goes, the be inside of a church versus say a barbershop doesn't make you immune to fucking germs. And she's in protest, and she wasn't wrong. You can attend a protest with 1,500 fucking people and nobody's wearing a fucking mask. But yet the barbershop or like the deli down the street can't open up because of COVID.
Yeah, so and they have gloves and stuff on.
Yeah.
Well, here's another thing. Someone brought this up, and it really messed with my head. How many of these people are washing these face masks that they've been wearing day after day, week after week, month after month?
So right here, she put down breaking news. Democratic government leaders now recommend we all wear blindfolds along with masks so we can't see what's really going on.
Yeah, I can believe it.
I don't know if you can see it,
But yeah, how many people are seriously sterilizing their masks after they wear it? Because, some of these germs do come out as droplets and they will get inside of the material after a while. Therefore, the masks, if you don't properly take care of them, are useless.
Yeah, so the fact that like the hashtag guys is like, fire Gina Carano and stuff. And like,
no.
And other Twitters were saying like, this isn't just a difference in political opinions. What she has done and continuing to do is violent and harmful. She is supporting and defending white supremacists and their extremist ideals while forcing her own.
God, people need to stop. You know what? Racism, sexism, white supremacy has literally lost all definition at this point.
She put this down and, she said this. I've been hearing about this slowly because like something called Parler. I guess Parler is starting to get like a little bit of traction now because Gina put down, hey guys, you can join me over at Parler. I go by Gina Joy. Joy is my middle name. And Parler is a alternative to Twitter. So it's beginning popular, but
Oh.
It's growing, but it's gonna it's going to take a while, and it's going to need a lot more people.
But so far, everything she said, and like that's why I like to drink her for. And anybody, I read her fucking tweets, and she just like, said she seems like a very down to earth, but it's like people would say the term bending the knee. She's like, oh, Gina, you have to put down which pronoun you identify as. She's like, no, I don't. You have to, or you're phobic. Okay, I'm phobic. Then, well, fuck you. We fired her from Star Wars. Like, no, it's all right.
Well, she did. She's a beep bop boop.
Exactly. Yeah. Now she's beep bop boop and have the fucking.
Well, see that it's so easy because you can tell who are the crazy people. As soon as you don't do something, their automatic response is a hissed or.
And Drew said that when he gets here about fucking social media, but this is
he's never gonna get here tonight.
This is the fucking thing. It's just like, if you don't agree with me, cool, don't agree with me. But now it's like, agree with me. I don't want to. Okay, now let me get you fired from your job. And it's like, whether it's like said, she's an actress, but it's not just her being an actress though. You see it on different social media accounts where it's like, well, this person supports Trump or they don't support Trump or they're trans as transat. Now I'm gonna go to their company's webpage and tell their company they're a fucking homophobic or something. They're racist. Like, well, because
the only thing about these stupid leftists is though, if she's posting these tweets and they're posting the tweets, her business or her people, her bosses can see what she did. I'm like, all right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's,
because obviously they can see how irrational these.
The whole thing comes down to like Star Wars. It's like you can sit there and you can bitch as much you want. It's up to Disney. If Disney wants to get rid of you, they can. It's their business. So it just comes down to it's like it's up to Disney. But as of right now, she's got a pretty big fucking following. And that's what I keep saying. The thing is, the whole social media mob. You have 50,000 followers. 50 people are offended. And those 50 people, they try to sound like the fucking 50,000. Like,
but here's a better point. These people are stalking her feed. And if she blocks them, they make new names to yet again stalk her even more. Yep. So who's in the wrong? A person who has an opinion, or are these crazy motherfuckers who are making multiple accounts to stalk a person just because they don't like what she has to say? So it's okay to stalk these people because you have a different opinion, but it's not okay for these people to fight back because you're trying to destroy their livelihood. Logic in 2020 just proving how fucking stupid people have become.
I like the guy Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers and stuff. He said that earlier. He's like, yeah, guys. He goes, right now you have Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers was fucking Apollo Creed. Everyone knows him. He came back from Mandalorian season 2. He directed this episode. He goes, so you have a black man, one of the most iconic black actors in history, directing an episode. You have Gina Carano, who's a woman, because you're all about female empowerment and stuff. She's kicking ass because she really can kick your ass because she's won shitloads of MMA fucking titles and stuff. So you have a strong female character, a black guy directing Star Wars, and you're still not fucking happy because it was leftists are never happy.
Exactly. They'll just burn everything down and then still complain how it's not enough. And it's not even leftist. There are people on all sides of this thing that'll do the same thing. But the crowd that screams the loudest, I'm not even going to call them leftist, centrist, or right. I'm going to call them deranged. There's a new title for all these people. I'm just calling them deranged. Yeah.
That's why I do find it funny with the whole, because it's like this SJW shit. Like people like us, we don't give a fuck what your pronouns are. The SJWs, that's with the term now he's using on Geeks and Gamers was social justice weirdos, which I find it funny. Yeah, because like stalkers. The people that like you scream equality and stuff. I'm like, well, I don't feel like we have difference of opinions. But if your opinion doesn't match mine, now it's hashtag fire you from Star Wars because I didn't put down a fucking pronoun. Like, calm down, killer. Like.
Yeah. I went to the store because they were.
But you know what though? If you're gonna be in the spotlight, you have to deal with this criticism.
But Gina, her herself though, she has fault. That's like the drinker was in line this week. I started following William Shatner. The drinker's like, if you create a Twitter account, follow William Shatner. That man is a fucking legend. He's like, I'm 90 years old. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm not political. William Shatner takes his time fucking responding to every single fan. I almost wanted to write him directly. This is just to piss him off because I started following Shatner. I spent an hour reading that man's tweets. That man's a fucking legend. Shatner has got the pure no fucks given. He's like Drinker was like, the Drinker said on live stream, he goes, listen guys, he's like, I checked my Twitter account. He goes, 95% of my Twitter account is William Shatner. It's like Captain Kirk doesn't give a fuck.
No,
I'm like, that man, he's like, I'm 90. What are you going to do to me?
Yeah.
It's like, and the funny part is, at 90 years old, he looks younger than I do. You know, it's like, but same with Gina Carano. Certain people, these are the ones you gotta love because Gina Carano, she can beat the shit out of you. She's not fucking scared of you. And if you keep fucking with her, she will respond to you and blast you in front of millions of fucking people. It's hilarious. So will Shatner. Kirk sucked. Oh, Kirk sucked, and he would just get on there and rip people apart. It's comedy gold, man. Like, so. Like Carlin said, no, this is the fucking point. A lot of these people, they do. They have an opinion. They bend the knee. They apologize. No, Gina Carano said she's not apologizing for shit. And the more she keeps feeding back to them, she keeps pissing more people off on fucking Twitter. And I'm like, guys, Disney will fire her because she's not doing anything but just pissing you off. And like, you can't handle it. So.
Yeah.
And if Disney ever does want to get rid of her, guess what? She's got a good fucking decent movie career. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be perfectly good.
I just love the fact that this week, because she came back to Mandalorian, how many fuck people are still like, you know,
heads exploding.
Yeah, like I have to make 19 fucking Twitter accounts to get Gina Carano fired and stuff. Like, fuck yourself.
Deranged. Absolutely
but
deranged.
boy, is it goddamn hilarious.
Like I said, they make all these accounts to make it seem like they're more than what they are, but it's, and in the grand scheme of things, like you said, there's 350 million Americans. It's probably like 100,000 people.
Yeah.
That are just, because they did the same thing. And back when there was that Biden and Trump town halls that go on at the same time, people would sign on to multiple devices to watch Biden so that Biden would have better rating, but they still failed. But they would try to sign on to 4 or 5 different devices and make accounts, but it's all the same IP address, you know? So it's like, that's all they're doing is they're making different accounts. They're trying to be bigger than what they are. It's like, I'm trying to think of an animal in the animal kingdom that bloats itself up to make it bigger than what it is.
Pufferfish, maybe.
No, pufferfish. I still like that one meme where the dolphins boop in the pufferfish. And it's like my penis in the morning.
So this is kind of strange. Being I won't be visiting this restaurant, but like, okay. So this says a city winery will soon require a $50 on-site COVID-19 test for patrons. It's test to table dining. A New York City restaurant will soon require all patrons to take a rapid test at the door before being allowed to eat inside 2 days a week. Wow. So it's the first. Given the change of the seasons, finding the next level of safety and comfort for people to dine indoors is critical for us today. So, I mean, I'm not going to go to Denny's and spend $20 on food and $50 just to get in the fucking door. So, a COVID test is one of the only solutions to get patrons inside restaurants for the next 5 months until the springtime. It says guests who want to visit the Pier 57 establishment will prepay $50 per person.
Wait, why springtime?
According to them, the vaccination will be ready by then. So upon arrival, a health professional will administer a nasal swab, and patrons will be able to sip on a glass of wine while they wait 10 to 15 minutes for the results. If they are negative, the guests can go in, though they'll still have to follow standard regulations such as wearing a mask and social distancing. Again, if you're negative, why the fuck are you wearing a mask for then?
So wait.
Because it's after 9 and COVID will leap out of nowhere.
Yeah, so you're telling me that they'll only... After Joe Biden's in office...
You know why, though, Chris?
Fucking stupid. Brain dead.
You know why, Chris? It's because these tests have been known to give false negatives. Yeah. So they could be negative, but because the test is so shitty that they could still actually have it when they go in.
Should the test results be positive, the venue will send the results to a lab, and the individual won't be allowed in. So they'll also make sure that, everybody, they'll make sure the cops, everybody know who you are and you're testing positive.
You're going to pay $50 and we'll shame you.
Yeah.
And that's just to get in the door. That's just like a door fee.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, like, if you're going to this kind of winery, you're making the kind of money where $50 is, it's like 2 pennies for us, but like, it just... Damn, I mean, but will this trickle down to like?
Hey, if people want to go there, these restaurants and places can make all the rules they want to, and people still want to go there. That's their choice.
Look like an idiot.
It sounds ridiculous, but I'm never going to go there, so it doesn't concern me.
I guess.
I think it's ridiculous, but Hell, I mean, would I do that for Papa Gal's brunch? Maybe. That's a good ass brunch.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Buffalo. I'm just laughing about this. So, Buffalo man vandalized his own car with pro-Trump graffiti.
Oh,
I saw that.
An 18-year-old man who told cops someone spray painted his car with Trump for president, vandalized the vehicle himself.
Oh, that gay kid or something?
I don't know if he's gay, but he goes, I never thought that happens, he told the outlet in October. I thought that was stuff that happens in movies. You did to yourself, you dickhead. So, a neighbor reported the vandalism on October 15th. He said there was video evidence of him vandalizing his own car.
I don't know if this is the same one.
He's been charged with third-degree insurance fraud and falsifying a report. He faced up to 7 years in prison if convicted. So, for vandalizing his own car. I mean, I guess insurance fraud, maybe, but like...
Another juicy smooth way.
Well, it's like saying, like, all these fucking these Trump people and stuff, too, they're vandalizing my vehicle, and these Trump scumbags did it to yourself, asshole.
I saw a report about some gay guy doing that, and they was saying, it's because supremacy and homophobia. I'm like, that really has nothing to do. Nobody cares. It's like, yep, he destroyed his own vehicle, and he might serve up to 7+ years in jail. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's not that he destroyed it, it's just the whole insurance fraud thing. That's the big thing.
It's just, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we're just furthermore proving that all these racial things are just a giant hoax. So keep making us all believe it's all a hoax, because that's all I believe. Somebody attacked me, it was racially motivated. I don't know. There's been so many hoax this year. I'm going to go with X to doubt.
So I found this kind of funny because actually, Elliot, I talked to Carlton about this, didn't talk to Junior much about this earlier today. I find it funny because it's fucking, all of us are gamers. We've all been gamers. When you read about this dumb shit, I just don't feel bad for him. Sorry, but PS5 and Xbox Series X sales ending in violent robberies, warns the police. Fake PS5 sellers online are violently mugging potential buyers during meetups. So they put out, the Toronto police put out a warning to citizens. Reports have been circulating that PS5 and Xbox owners, or sellers, are meeting up only to be mugged by would-be buyers, with the police operations receiving enough tip-offs to warrant a social media post. So, the demand for PS5 and Xbox Series 2 has far outstripped supply of either console, which been particularly egregious for PlayStation. So, yeah.
Dude, just like the dumbasses blowing fucking vape smoke in their Xboxes to try to say they're catching fire for free stuff.
So, according to Toronto Police Operations tweet, it says, the department has been receiving reports of robberies involving weapons and violence surrounding people selling systems to fake buyers and then robbing them. Wow. It says, the tweet also gives people interested in buying a PS5 and Xbox Series advice, suggesting that meeting areas be chosen carefully and let someone else know when the meeting is happening. Come on, it's like
buy them from a store online.
I mean, it's, right now I have to have a PS5 so bad that if Best Buy or fucking, Amazon or just Walmart doesn't have it in stock, I'm gonna say, this is Joe, Joe at fucking whatever, fucking PS5.com. So Chris, listen, about midnight, okay, why don't you go behind the Burger King dumpster with about $500 and I'm gonna give you a PS5. Really, Joe? You got a PS5? Yeah, like, you know what, then for you, Chris, instead of charging $500, I'll charge $450. I'm gonna charge tax. I want to be greedy. Okay, Joe, awesome. So about 12:30 in the morning, come meet me and shit.
But make sure not to have a flashlight and don't tell anybody where you're going,
especially the cops.
Remember, this is only for you. Don't tell your friends, or it's gonna ruin it.
I'm a good guy. Joe, you're fucking awesome, man. Like,
get him.
Christ, man. I mean, it's at that point, that's fucking Darwinism taking care of itself. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, like, how bad is just like, I gotta show a fucker for Xbox and stuff.
In the words of Jeff Foxworthy, here's your sign.
That's also what I was talking about earlier, where people are getting Amazon packages for their PS5 and Xboxes. And when they open it, it's like kitchen appliances or cat food or something. Because, like, apparently the delivery truck people are, like, stealing the packages and rewrapping them. You know, I was just like, oh my goodness,
Some of the shit.
that is
I'm
crazy.
trying to be careful because, like, I mean, I'll listen to this in junior, but some of the shit's really fucking funny. I want everyone to be here, but like, Jesus Christ. Actually, this is a good one. I'll pull up off from page 6. Well, you know, we talked about Carlton, but I'm sure you heard about Alex Trebek dying. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of glimpsed that the other day.
It's just been like a lot, and nothing obviously too fucking big. It hit me when I heard it kind of hard because, listen, before COVID hit, he was on Howard's show, and Howard was talking to Alex Trebek, and since then, Howard's talked about Alex a million times. He goes, man, if I was Alex, I'd be in a fucking fetal position, crying like a freaking bitch and stuff. Like, please, God, I hate life. There's no God. He goes, this man has got fucking stage 4 cancer, has like a 10% chance to live. And he goes, Howard, I'm going to beat this. And he's still doing like 5 Jeopardy shows a fucking day, despite having like stage fucking 4 cancer and stuff. And Howard's like, this man is just like, you can't even like comprehend the level of like balls and dedication. Like you're probably going to fucking die. I'm not going to die. I'm going to beat this shit. I'm going to keep fucking going to work every single day. And Howard's like, he said, you guys, if I had stage 4 fucking cancer, you think I'm recording this bullshit radio show anymore? It's like, it's true. It's like, serious, I quit. Like, it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, if my job was like, hey, Chris, you got stage 4 colon cancer. Watch how fast you're not getting a 2-week notice out of me. That day, I'm going to fucking work. I'm like, here's your ID. Here's my fucking shirt. Here's my shit to go.
Then you survive, and you're like, fuck, what do I do now?
So, yeah, he's been battling it, unfortunately, and this is the scary part. Like, you know, much like how Chadwick, Alex said I'm going to beat this, you know, and it did go into remission for the past year, but eventually, yeah, you know, I found the article where it's like, at least the only positive thing about this says that Alex Trebek spent his final day watching Horizon with his wife, and his wife said, you know, he fulfilled his final hours with his longtime wife on a swing, watching the sunset, before he succumbed to his battle with cancer. So even in his book, he described that he wanted his final day to be sitting on his swing next to his wife and kind of watching the horizon, and he got to do that. So she said that he was coherent, he wasn't in pain, assuming probably pain meds and stuff, and the fact that he had a nice final day makes all of us in the Jeopardy family feel much better. Says the 80-year-old game show host died of stage 4 pancreatic Sunday morning, surrounded by his family and friends at his house. So, you know, died in a hospice. And it was his wife of 30 years. So they had 2 children. His death came more than a year and a half after he revealed he had been diagnosed with aggressive disease, which has the highest mortality rate of all cancers. So throughout the ordeal, he continued to film new episodes of the game show, filming his last episode on October 29th. Fuck. I mean, he was literally fucking dying and fucking still recorded the last episode of Jeopardy. It says, he was incredibly hardworking, you know, it's like cared about the people, and fuck. But it's just like, at least, you know, it's like, if you're gonna go, hey, he got to fucking watch sunset with his wife, he died in his fucking house peacefully, and, you know, God bless, man. And for all accounts, he seemed like, I mean, from the interviews I heard of him, and Alex Trebek, it's like, it just said, it kind of hits me thinking, like, Jesus Christ, how much Jeopardy did I watch with Nanny and Grandpa? You know, all 3 of us. Fuck, the man's Jeopardy.
I think that's probably what affects you the most because you have a lot of nostalgia wrapped into it.
Well, it's like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy. It's like that's still, it's like we grew up with them. Even we didn't watch them all the time. At some point, you watch Jeopardy. You know, all of us did. It's just like, in fact, it's been around like literally our entire lives. Been fucking around. He's like 80 fucking years old, man. It's like shit.
When they tried to do that one contestant tried to do the Family Guy thing, had him say his name backwards.
The cool part is Ryan Reynolds put a tweet because, you know, he's a new guy with Ryan Reynolds and stuff, and Ryan Reynolds said he's like, of course, you know, this man was fucking awesome, perfect. When that's the final time you'll see him is in the next one, whenever that film comes out. So because at one point, you know, it's like they mentioned Ryan Reynolds' character and they show Alex Trebek on Jeopardy talking about him and shit. So. But yeah, it's just like, you know, it's fucking hit me pretty hard because, like, yeah, it's our childhoods are fucking dying, man. Like,
yes, unfortunately, they always will.
And it sucks too. Is like you read about these guys, like for the most part, you know, Alex Trebek seemed like an average dude. Never like, you know, he said it. I mean, he didn't fucking drink. Damn sure wasn't a fucking smoker. Probably did some weed here and there, like anything, but nothing like, you know, had a very fucking. The guy was in excellent shape. Was always had a very good fucking diet, and I mean, it sucks. You know, it's like anything. Some people. It's always that cliche where never smoke a cigarette a day in your life, get diagnosed with lung cancer. Some people are sucking down 3 packs a day and they're fucking fine. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, how the hell does that happen?
I truly don't fucking, I don't know. So, that's Our boiler, because we're pouring. We're back into the basement, so.
Oh, I'm about to say, what the hell is that screeching sound?
That's the sounds of the terrible things Mark did in his basement coming to haunt us.
Yeah. Mark recently, and listen, my friend Mark, so well, you've heard his name, but he turned 40, so he texted me the other fucking day, as he does. I'm laughing so hard because he's like, motherfucker, that's why. He's like, I gotta schedule my colonoscopy. And I was like, okay, it sucks.
Actually, you don't need to really schedule those to your 50s, so I don't know why
Mark's case, he probably should now. He's got enough health problems.
Yeah, he probably should.
Yeah.
He probably should.
I was so mortified by that text, I couldn't respond. It's like, no.
Yeah, but the way he said, he's like, fucking hell, I have to set up the colonoscopy. He's like, my pale ginger ass on the table, like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny. Could you imagine they're gonna roll him over onto his stomach, and when they split the gown open, the nurse is gonna pass out. It's gonna be like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark when they open up the ark and everyone dies.
Fucking face melt.
Her face is gonna melt when they see his bare ass.
He's like, you think I should schedule it on a Friday? No idea how long it takes. It's just a 1-day thing. And I was like, LOL. So I've had 3 of them done, but I'm like, yeah. You want to take a day off work and stuff? And he goes, we text back. He's like, awesome, thanks. The thought of being naked and passed out and them laughing at me. he's like, the thought of him laughing at me is scaring me. I'm like, I was like, let's be honest. We know they're gonna laugh at you, like. Because I think it was something Carlton said. It's like fucking Mark is like, dude, you have to go in there in a fucking fat man gown with just your boxers on only and no shirt. So I'm like, at some point, they're gonna have to fucking pull the underwear down and spread them cheeks and like they're gonna look over and like.
He's probably gonna have so much red hair along his ass cheek and his crack. It's gonna be like that scene in Austin Powers with Fat Bastard.
You're just gonna hear someone in the room. My eyes.
The best thing is like, nurse, my doctor, we inserted the probe. He has inserted a probe, and it's like here's like this squishing, like sickly noise, like. Like, what is that? Like, is that his stomach? And it's like,
No, it is like they're gonna insert it in, and next thing you know, when they start to pull it out, something yanks it back in. Like, what the hell?
No.
They're trying to pull it out like they're fighting a big.
Here's what's gonna happen:
one
of those nurses is gonna come out of there, take off her engagement ring, like I'm a lesbian now after seeing that.
Yeah, it's like
lesbian. They're gonna be going to nun. They're gonna go to celibate.
Carlton's actually, he's like, it's gonna scar them spiritually. Like, Jesus Christ, I've seen some shit.
They look into the eye of the devil.
Their souls will never be able to rest in peace.
They found the portal to hell in Mark's ass.
Gonna need that little girl, that little woman from The Exorcist.
Oh, Christ.
But you need to go through that door, child.
So
he's gonna wake up and there's a priest performing an exorcism on his ass.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'd love to get Mark on his podcast. That ain't gonna happen, though. So, guys.
It will if we get enough Popeyes and stuff sitting here.
Well, if he's on it, you're gonna have to do a lot of tuning because of all the heavy breathing.
Like, okay, do you have something that can kind of lay me down? It hurts to sit.
Oh boy. So good.
You need to put in a wheelchair ramp to get to the basement.
Is that cat still here, by the way? See him just rubbing his nipples. Like, leave her alone.
So get the comedy aspect out because this went dark fast. But like, now I hear Elliot laughing, and now I gotta calm it down because this shit went dark. But 12-year-old New Orleans girl accused of killing her infant brother.
Jesus
Christ, man! Like, again, things I wasn't doing at 12. It's like, oh fuck. So I'm not sure how to feel about this, but like, a 12-year-old girl, New Orleans girl, was reportedly charged with murder over the death of her 6-month-old brother. The juvenile was charged after the infant was found dead at the family's home. He was perfect. The child's aunt said he was a beautiful baby. They did not reveal a cause of death, but the sheriff said that the homicide did involve the use of a dangerous weapon. The sheriff added, "This is a horrific and tragic situation." You think? So it's like, sources said she may have struck the kid. Well, fine. Says, what happened? Happened. I'm sorry that it happened. Nobody can change it, said Brown, who babysat for the family. The girl was being held without bond in a juvenile center. So, boy.
I just slammed that kid.
I mean, obviously there's got to be, that's one of the things where I'm like, you know what? I don't know what to fucking say about that. Like, what do you charge a 12-year-old case? She killed her fucking, beat to death her 6-month-old
murder
baby brother, but like, what?
Yep, she's gonna go to juvie too. Wait, that's in New Zealand? Oh, they're probably gonna give her a chair.
New Orleans, but
New Orleans.
They're gonna probably give her a bunch
she's
of
gonna get juvie.
Mardi Gras beads.
Nah, she'll go to juvie, and then of course she'll be back out there. Who knows what'll happen from there? She'll have kids and beat her own kids to death.
Yeah, that's just like
these psychological messed up people.
Fucking monsters. That's the only word.
Let's make Elliot happy. Found an article. That's right.
Lasagna makes me happy. Sue, are you listening? Lasagna.
So.
Why would Sue make you lasagna?
Because apparently last week we got into some details and things aren't going so well for her and Longhorn. So just trying to keep her mind off of the terrible things by making me some lasagna.
That was obvious since day one. She knew she was just a piece aside.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep her hands and mind busy. She can make me some lasagna.
She got hers though. So let's make Ellie happy though. So scientists discover a bizarre hell planet.
Good.
Said it rains rocks and the oceans are made of lava.
I love it.
That's like exactly.
We're gonna send all these assholes on TikTok and Twitch and all that over there.
Says, if you thought living on Earth in 2020 was comparable to hell, well, this planet K2-141b is here to prove you wrong. Says,
gonna get that tattooed on me now.
On the scorching hot planet hundreds of light years away, oceans are made of lava. Winds reach supersonic speeds, and rain is made of rock.
Well, would it be called ocean if it was just lava? Wouldn't it just be lava?
I guess, that's a question.
I guess using the word ocean to just give people an idea of how much lava.
What's I'm saying? Like, imagine our oceans with just lava. So yeah, it's like
damn.
Yeah, I know. For us, it's just like oceans of lava. Well, it can't be ocean if ocean's water. Wouldn't it just be lava?
According to a new study published in their scientists from McGill University, York University, and the Indian Institute of Science says they have uncovered details of one of the newest lava planets, a world that so closely orbits its host star that much of it is composed of flowing lava oceans, which makes sense because they're so close to their sun. That's what happens is extreme temperatures. So
that's metal as hell.
Yeah, it says the Earth-sized exoplanet appears to have a surface, ocean, and atmosphere, all made of the same ingredients, rocks. Wow. The study is the first to make predictions about weather conditions on the planet that can be detected from hundreds of light years away with next generation telescopes. Jesus. It says, "Wow, this scorching hot part of the planet reaches temperatures of over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot enough not only to melt rocks but also vaporize them. Holy shit!
But how is there still rocks if it gets hot enough to vaporize them?
I guess
scientists and their crazy shit. Okay,
because the way fucking it says the way fucking it faces their star and stuff, because it says that our finding likely means that the atmosphere extends a little beyond the shore of the magma ocean, making an easier spot with space telescopes. The rest of the planet is cloaked in never-ending darkness, reaching frigid temperatures of -328. Holy shit. It says, in Earth's water cycle, water evaporates, rises up into the atmosphere, condenses, and returns as rain. Now imagine that process, but instead of water, it has rocks to work with.
Sounds awesome.
Says, the sodium, silicon monoxide, and silicon dioxide evaporate into mineral vapor, wow, which is carried to the dark side of the planet by supersonic winds that range over 3,100 miles per hour. From there, rocks rain back into the 60-mile deep magma ocean. Holy shit. As all rocky planets, including Earth, started off as molten worlds but then rapidly cooled and solidified. Lava planets give us a rare glimpse at this stage of planetary evolution, so basically what they're saying is like this was probably Earth at one point because they're so close to their sun, but over time, we get away from that atmosphere. But
that's
awesome.
Really like that shit.
That's pretty interesting.
There's a lot of if there's a version of fucking hell, people always wondering shit.
Yeah, all I needed was acid rain on top of the rocks.
Yeah, really.
Want to know something weirder? There's a band out there called the Oakley Dokleys. They're all dressed like Ned Flanders.
Here's something pretty fucking dark and not dark. And again, people wonder why women act the way they act for and feel the way they do. So, a man raped a woman day after first date because he couldn't perform the night before. It's like, okay. So he forced himself on a young woman who just the night before he went on a date with because he woke up feeling horny. Christ.
What a nerd.
The incident occurred the morning after their first date with a woman who cannot be identified as per UK law. But he said to have woken up with the following morning and pressed himself against his victim. She then retorted back that she had to go to work. So he spent the night then. That's when Samuels told her, "Well, I'm horny and we're having sex," before pulling down her pajama bottoms and raping her in her own bed.
Please tell me it has a happy ending where she stabbed him in the face 100 times with a screwdriver.
The court heard how Samuels...
Well, is this a one-night stand, or was she been talking to him?
Yeah, it was one-night stand. I mean, she went on a date and he spent the night, and he... So...
well, that's a little dumbness on her part, so I'm only slightly feel bad for her.
The court heard how Samuels met his victim on a dating website in July. This is why women are scared of dating websites for. Met his victim on a website last year and went back to her residence where consensual sexual activity happened. However, the set did not have full intercourse because he could not get it up. Jesus Christ. So, of course, he denied raping her because she had falsely accused him out of resentment because she was pestered about him texting other women. So, the judge found him guilty. So,
I mean, maybe he did. I mean, usually those psychopaths, they need to choke somebody to get off.
During the trial, the judge told that the case was worsened by the fact that the victim had caught an STD as a result of the attack. So,
jeez.
They got along well and spent the night together, but they didn't have intercourse. In the morning, she was going to work and didn't want intercourse, but he took it anyway. He had his way with her when she didn't want it. He knew that, but could not face that now. Damn. So, they got into bed together, they kissed and touched each other, but the defendant could not get himself aroused. That's a problem, because the amount of drink he had, they went out to a bar before. The jury heard she wanted to sleep because she had to go to work the next day, but he kept disturbing her and asked for her Wi-Fi code, and she did not give it him. Eventually, she was able to get to sleep. When she woke up by her alarm clock in the morning, it became apparent by then he was aroused. Wow.
There's just so much wrong with that story. What is it with going to bars with people getting shit-faced hammered?
Yeah.
That's when you should part ways because neither person's in a good state of mind.
It's definitely the whole. Well, I mean, how many cliches do we see? Like the whole one-night stand thing. Is it that whenever you're taking a stranger to your house, though, you are not defending it.
There's a risk.
It sucks that happened.
Yeah.
People gotta kind of be more careful, especially nowadays. People are just absolutely fucking monsters.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like that's why I said I partially feel bad that if that did happen to her. That sucks, but she put herself in that situation by, reaching out and doing this one night stand. I mean, you don't know people. You're going to run into some fucked up individuals.
This was kind of funny. I could pull this out. I do think, I've heard tales or stories in the past about stuff like Nickelback or different Justin Bieber songs, but it was funny because it's in the fucking New York Times, but there's a jail employees face charges after using Baby Shark.
Wait, what?
They used the song Baby Shark to punish fucking inmates.
That's awesome.
So the inmates were fucking suing. Inmates at an Oklahoma jail were handcuffed to a wall and forced to stand and listen to the ubiquitous children's tune on repeats. It says, I'll load up bastard. Fucking New York Times. I don't want to. Okay, it says.
I don't even know the Baby
really
Shark song.
It's pretty
I
good.
hear it all.
So, The district attorney said playing the song Baby Shark on repeat put undue emotional distress on the inmates who were listening to it.
You mean
Jesus Christ.
Like what they may or may not have done to others?
Did
they do the dance afterwards? That's the only thing I need to know. Were they singing and doing the dance?
Three former jail employees in Oklahoma are now facing charges. New website. Facing charge.
Prisoners. Which one was the baby and which one was the dad and grandpa?
Baby Shark torture.
Do it.
Yeah, for New York Times, this wasn't loading up for some reason.
It says the New York Times.
Yeah. So, 2 former employees at the Oklahoma City County Jail and their supervisor were charged with misdemeanor counts of cruelty to a prisoner and conspiracy this week after forcing them to listen to Baby Shark on loop for loud volumes for extended periods of time. As a preschool teacher, I can definitely confirm that song is torture. Someone said on Twitter. Friends still mentioned to me when my son played Baby Shark 10 times in a row at a holiday party. It was pretty bad. This is torture. So Baby Shark, while being unofficially used as a torture device for years now, has now officially been used as a torture device.
That's hilarious.
Did they break that man?
Of course, the whole thing about Baby Shark is that it's an earworm, aka a catchy song that keeps repeating in your head, even after it's done playing. Here's what you need to know about earworms in general, plus what exactly makes Baby Shark so annoying. Why are earworms so catchy? Believe it or not, earworms have been studied, pretty extensively, and for what it's worth, they're known as involuntary musical imagery to academics. Oh, shit. So, psychology has found that earworms usually have the same characteristics in common. Upbeat tempo, high-pitched patterns that are similar to other popular songs, and they have big leaps in notes. Wow. So
they're still pretty funny.
It's actually the study broke down some of the most popular earworms according to 3,000 people. Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Good song.
Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5.
No.
California Girls by Katy Perry. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Fuck yeah.
Alejandro by Lady Gaga. And of course, Poker Face. Poker Face, I got something about that song that'll stick in your fucking head.
Only when Eric Cartman does it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but the Poker Face, once I get to my fuck head, I hear this shit on repeat. Let's see if I can find it.
No, it's not an earworm for me.
When South Park did it, it definitely stayed in my head.
Yeah. But fuck yeah, Baby Shark is the biggest thing ever on YouTube. It's got fucking 7 billion views.
Did it be Gundam
It's
style?
their biggest thing, so. It's by fucking Pink Fong Kids. So if we find it. Goddamn Pink Fong.
This is when he tortures everybody.
It's pissed people off.
So you
gotta play it.
It's like, yeah, it's just the comments are turned off, of course, too. So there it is.
Poor Carl. Carl's getting his gun ready next time he sees you. Okay.
Yeah. That's it for 2 minutes. That's it.
The fuck? What kind of shit is this?
Seriously? It's on the fucking song.
Grandma Shark sounds constipated.
Yeah, and it's a fucking kids underwater, and they're like, Grandma Shark did too. It's it for 2 fucking minutes. It's a 2-minute song with 7 billion fucking views. Like, he said, you can't comment because he turned into
that's one view for every person on Earth, almost.
God. But for kids with ADD, I guess. But Jesus Christ, man! But like, yeah, but after you hear that shit for hours at a time, you're like, I'm gonna talk. Fuck it. It's like,
I'll tell you everything you need to know. Just leave me alone, sharks.
Oh shit.
Jesus, that's crazy.
It's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're a tough prisoner? I ain't saying shit. What about Baby Shark? Don't you do it. I'm gonna do it.
Don't you do it.
3 hours later, oh man, I ain't tough. I'll tell you anything. Just turn it off, Baby Shark. I can't stop it.
I would like to have seen the person after that.
He was in a fetal position, but Baby Shark did like, damn, he's broken.
See, Baby Shark or Mark lift up his shirt.
Mark needs to do the truffle shuffle.
God.
Do the truffle shuffle.
Fucking goodness.
Yeah. Now, a couple of the stories I'll wait, though, because I want Alan Jr. to hear the other stories, because they're fucking funny, but...
Yeah, save those for the next time.
It's just random shit I found, so... But, yeah, let's bet we killed a good 2 hours, so...
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, so some laugh, Baby Shark.
He's got, like, he's a couple people, I mean, that have more low-key conversations.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And save the big juicy stuff when there's more personalities to mix in.
Somebody out there is probably going to hear this and get triggered.
No, I told that chick Becca. I said, she's cute. You know?
I saw this one fucking fact. I'm going to try to see if I can share this.
Dublin's in Ireland.
Oh.
That's not in England.
But no, but she moved to England. So I'm just saying, I told her to just keep sending this funny ass shit, because you're in your raunchy ass comedy. So
that's okay.
But,
I know
well,
people. God
I
damn.
got this one meme.
Yeah, but she's
that I saved the other day. This shit was hilarious.
Gotta ask her if she uses Irish Spring.
Yeah. You like there to me, like that's just like that's a normal person, you know. It's like not too glamorous, and that she's cute, you know?
So Chris, you remember those TH exits when you start a movie? That goes
yeah.
Well, here's this meme. This the thing I saw the other day. It's like when someone compliments me and it shows the THX sign, and the next verse like when someone compliments me, I too make a loud jar noise. And then it's like below that, the guy's like, "Hey, I like your shirt."
Actually, if I can find a sound effect.
I saw, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely don't add her to the podcast group now. We'll all.
Oh, I want to see. What does she look like?
She looks attractive.
I'll say she's cute, but it's that.
She looks like
her sense of humor is fucking.
She looks like she'd start a bar fight if we took her to a bar.
Yeah.
She's from Dublin, Ireland.
Yes. But now lives in England.
Oh God!
So it makes it that much worse.
Crazy.
That's her with makeup on.
Yeah, that's too. You just. Okay, she looks crazy.
Wait, sorry, I'm gonna tell her, just keep sending me your fucked up memes, because goddamn,
just keep sending him stuff, and he'll send you poetry and fuck it all up.
Pretty much.
How I wish to have a Irish roast, dude. Fucking stop it now.
Oh yeah.
I'll be there to cut him off. Like, nope. Stop this shit.
Goddamn Irish chicks. I can only handle 3 beers. I'm like, that's awesome.
No, she can only handle 3 beers before she's breaking glasses against someone's forehead for pissing her off.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I'm kind of letting stuff out, man. I'm just gonna pop in some more Destiny and beat this boss, and try all of us get into it and shit. But
yeah, I mean, pretty much like I was gonna have usually every other weekend, but with the girls not coming up, I mean, pretty much I can be available on Saturday nights.
I'll be here next time, and Junior. So, and you can hear.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like they just need time, Saturday nights. Time to do stuff.
Well, definitely check out the it's on Buzzsprout or Spotify, but listen to last week's episode, because it's fucking funny. It really is.
Until like the last half hour, then it gets bad.
So you can just hear it.
Yeah, I gotta see what made Elliot walk out.
No, even like Junior said, he felt like he's like, dude, I kind of want to say sorry to Elliot because what happened and stuff. I was like, dude, it's like fucking your friend bombed, and it happened. Even Al's like, it's happened to all of us.
It has. I just hate trying to be guilt tripped that I should feel bad for stuff, and it was just a bad night for me.
Yeah, it's like it's been a fucking rough few weeks. Everybody with that, like you've had personal loss shit going on. It's like, and the fucking thing with COVID and Trump shit and this like FOMO. It's like tensions are high, and like I said, if you listen to the entire thing, it's the first 3 hours everyone's just having a blast. So.
Well, no, I was having a good night, and then just towards the end of it, all that shit I just don't like talking about just kept building up, and I just exploded.
But even like I said, when Alex were making a point, like Al would get like half a syllable out, she'd interrupt Al, and then Junior would get a syllable out too, and then she kept interrupting Junior. So it's like, and I'm just sitting there just drinking, like, boy, yes.
I followed her into the bathroom too.
Maybe I did.
Like, Becca, watch out, that's gonna be you.
Yep. So all I kept thinking was, yes, Junior, another one that's very hot, and she's fucking insane. Like,
good.
So they have to be if they want to be Junior's friend.
All that Rogaine torture.
All her parts like Will. Of course, she calls him Will. You're so funny. We had so many drinking stories together, and I'm like, of course you did.
Sometimes I just pulls like.
So was Junior bragging about his sexual exploits?
His parties at the Savage House.
Oh yeah. He sounds like a broken record, like Al Bundy reliving his glory days. Savage House.
Is it
Savage House? I eat ass at the Savage House.
God.
You probably ate the ass of women passed out from being with other men.
Jesus Christ. Wouldn't surprise me.
It's like, oh yeah, after you had her way, I ate their ass out.
Yeah, it was funny. We kept cracking our joke because like she's like talking about, okay, guys, so my orgasms, everybody stop talking, let her talk as long as she wants to. I'm gonna separate her audio clip by herself. It's like the way I have such intense orgasms, like please don't stop talking. I'm a vegan. Like when she says, I'm a vegan, get out of my house. It's vegan.
No, we should thank her. That leaves all the bacon and goodies for us.
More delicious animals for us. Yeah.
Like, why are you eating my food's food?
Exactly. But yeah, so we killed a couple hours. Anything you got, Carlton?
No, I'm all set. I kind of just came into this unprepared, but I'm glad I was able to join. Yeah. I've been so out of the groove with everything going on.
So we tried, like, have some comedy, but some weeks are more serious than others, and like I just said, I got about 5 really fucking funny stories that like I gotta have Alan Jr. for these stories because they're hilarious, and you still want to laugh more when the other guys are here. So, but like I said, it's if we don't record a big long podcast, just even getting an hour or two, just try to make it consistent. That's all. So,
pretty much.
There's plenty of other fucked up news stories to go through.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I just gotta get back into this. I kind of just with everything going on. I mean, especially too, it's like. Next week is Thanksgiving, and didn't November start like 2 days ago? I mean,
it feels like it.
Yeah, 2020 is almost over.
I'm like, Jesus.
And we'll still see with the election because between now and January, I have no idea what's going to happen.
I don't care. We've already lost. People are still burning down cities. Everybody's just losing their fucking mind. We've already lost. Who cares at this point?
We'll see what the Orange Man does.
What he does best. Just tweet one thing and people's heads explode because that's what they do.
I would say his piece. I'll say my piece. As always, people, if you made it this far in our podcast, but try doing the same goodbyes and startups. Like, as usual, everybody's appreciative that you're here and listening, and we all got our paychecks and stuff, and I don't want people's cash, nor do I fucking need it, because I'm broke, but hey, at least my bills are paid right now, and I just gave Mom money for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is all paid for, and hey, even talking to this Becca chick, she said, she's a retail worker herself, and she's been working through COVID as well. I was like, awesome. And she's like, and she made a joke. She goes, Chris, a lot of guys ask me, have you started OnlyFans? And she goes, maybe I'm missing something. But she goes, I really feel like if I did that, I kind of wouldn't be earning a paycheck. It's like, that's not work. And I'm like, you'd fit right in with us,
God damn. That look on Chris's face.
No, because I said, I like people like that, where it's like, and I said, well, that's a constant misconception. I get what OnlyFans is and stuff. For a lot of times, it's basically fucking porn. For a lot of people, they're selling porn. But a lot of it is just the dumbest shit, where it's like a chick like sending you, if she's sending you bikini pictures, don't be sending her $20, $30 fucking dollars. If you're gonna pay for porn, pay for porn.
Well, that's what Twitter's becoming too, because there's women who are putting up entire videos and stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
So Twitter's no better.
What? So you want to make a side hustle? Make a side hustle, no problem. But like that's been a premise. Is like they just sit there and. I want to go with this article. We'll go through it later, but that whole Pokemon chick, there was a big controversy with her, and I'm like, get the fuck over it, man.
Look,
it's like,
if they want to flash vag and them doing stuff to themselves for money, they can't be mad when I'm calling them a whore. That's all I'm saying.
Good point. But, yeah, so.
Dirty whore.
So quick 2 hours, and
spit in my face.
Catch you next week, then. All right, we're out.